If y'all think 25 is bad, just wait till you hit 35. All right, everybody. It's all downhill.
I don't know. I still feel like I'm getting 5 hours of sleep and doing everything. I don't know.
You are. I need my sleep. I don't know how you function like that. You've seen me at conventions sometimes with you where like it's 9:30 p.m. and I am Victorian child crumbling
and
in
I'm
the
like,
bed. And I'm like, please, let's talk tomorrow. I can't focus. Just let me die. Like, stop holding on. Let me slumber.
Not me.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 8 of Mint and Matara's Summer Special. Hi, I'm Matara.
I'm Mint.
Thank you for listening, by the way. It's been quite an adventure, almost 2 months.
Oh my gosh, you're right. Almost 2 months.
Actually, wouldn't it be 2 months at episode 9? Whoopsies.
Wait,
I guess. Because it's like the 5th episode was 1 month, right?
Oh.
Yeah. So it wouldn't be at 8,
you said
it would be
almost.
at 9.
You said almost 2 months.
I did. I am good and I am safe.
It is allegedly. It's like when,
Allegedly.
when people say things in YouTube videos, allegedly. It is allegedly
For entertainment
2 months.
purposes only.
Yeah.
All right. Do not take this as the reality.
No.
How are you this week?
I'm all right. I'm a little busy.
You're a little busy with what?
I've been preparing for things. I've been messaging lots of people and emailing and doing lots of stuff.
Not to be sly with it, but since this podcast will come out after, do you want to talk about what you're preparing for? Because this is coming out on Monday.
Yeah. Oh, I can talk about one thing. But I can't talk about everything.
No.
Even though I kind of hinted it on stream, I was just like, I'm preparing for I don't know. Okay, I want your opinion on this too.
Okay.
So I've been gone for a couple of years, right?
Mm-hmm.
But before I left, I never got to celebrate my 1-year anniversary. And now that I'm back,
celebrate it. Absolutely.
Do I call it my 1 year? Or do I call it do I
call it your 1 year?
But it's my 4th year.
It's your first year, though. You've never technically celebrated your first year.
Yeah.
I think you should celebrate your first year for the meme, but you can call it something funny.
That is true. No, you're actually, because I came back on the day I graduated, so I literally just picked up where I left off. Actually. Oh my God.
Exactly.
Wait.
Yeah, I think you should. What day is it?
What,
your 1 year?
July. Hold on, I put it on my calendar. July 24th.
Oh.
That was the day I first
Yeah,
drank.
Absolutely.
Mm.
You gotta.
I know.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for your 1 year anniversary.
Okay, my 1 year anniversary, everybody.
Yeah, I think it's only fair. I think it's really, really nice.
Yeah.
And you should do it.
But the other thing you were talking about was I went to an anime convention.
Oh! Yeah, I think you're safe because this is coming out on Monday.
Yeah, but I'm already back. But and it hasn't happened yet. So
it hasn't. As of recording, it hasn't happened. But as of you watching this, she's come back.
Yes. And I'll have talked about it. And
I was supposed to come to see you with my other friend, but I just have too much work.
You ditched me. You abandoned me. The
thing I'm sad about is I ditched my other cute friend. She's so cute and she's so sweet, and I almost never get to see her because we're so busy all the time. I love her so much. She's so cute.
Why don't you start a podcast with her, huh?
Maybe I will. Yeah. No. Obviously, I just have so much stuff to do this week, and I think I've kind of hinted at it, but basically, I am joining an agency. Ooh. And VShojo is helping me. So for anybody wondering, I'm still a member of VShojo, but if you look at Giga, for example, she's a member of MSM, and Zen and Mouse are members of UTA. Which just gives them more sponsors, more opportunities in places that maybe VShojo isn't exactly reaching, or they don't have their noses there. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of kind of, corporate speak and things like that. Blah, 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 blah.
My brain.
But the fun part is I get to improve at interviewing. I get to improve at pitching myself. I get to kind of figure out my long-term goals, my short-term goals, my medium-term goals. Because, so it's, even if this doesn't work out, I have now become better at interviewing. It's kind of like dating, right? Even if you don't find your next secret husband, you just got better at dating, I guess.
So you have to like pitch yourself to them. You have to like kind of go and be like, "Hi, I'm Matara. This is why you should have me."
Well, okay. I'm gonna talk about it a little bit without getting into too. Speaking of, this actually kind of has to do with our topic for the week because we're gonna talk about our awful job experiences.
Yay, interviewing!
And before anybody tries to take this in the wrong context, this is gonna be pre-content. So this is gonna be a lot of like office work and restaurants.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm watching you. When I say coworker, I really do mean like people who are not in I'm watching you all. Okay. So the way it happens, I guess when you're a much smaller creator, you kind of have to pitch yourself a lot more. You kind of have to get on people's radar and sell yourself. I am at a level where the shoujo has kind of already done a little bit of the preliminary work for me.
Okay.
Where I basically named a few places that I'm interested in. And they basically did this thing where they went to them and they're like, "Hey, I have a daughter of marriable age.
Whoa.
Would you be interested? How about 3 cows and a tiger?" And basically they then reported back to me and said, "Listen, I know you were interested in these, but we think this is going to be way better for you because they just understand you. They get the vibe. Others, they weren't really too interested."
Okay.
So then I am basically going ahead, and even though I have a few places that are interested in me, I still want to prepare my pitch in a way where I'm the one asking questions too. This is my decision as much as this is. It is. This is why, we're filming everything today. Because I think on Wednesday, like 6, and then, I love Shoujo, but basically before my interview, they were like, "Hey, we should also sit down and like pre-interview you so that you're ready for the interview."
Oh my gosh, you're gonna be so interviewed out.
But it's like I said, it's now that I'm a lot older, getting rejected does not hurt. I could still be upset if I got rejected. I could still be like, "Man, I thought that was the one," but it just something better is going to come along. Something that I'm going to pitch myself better. Something that I'm going to fit better. Something that I'm going to know better.
So
like sometimes I'm just not a good fit, and that's okay.
No, for me, it's the end of the world. I'm just kidding.
You're like crying, sobbing,
This
cursing.
was the one. This was the one.
But there's a few things that I'd be interested in, and so it's a lot of work, and it
Sounds
sucks
like
because I would have much rather have gone to Miku concert and then flown with you to the anime convention and hung out with you and gone to some comedy shows and
No.
But I know.
Nah. It's okay. Anytime you meet me, it's a comedy show.
It's true. You're a clown.
But
You're such a clown. It's true.
yeah.
It's so true, girl. Yeah. Yeah. What are you excited about for the con?
I'm mostly excited about meeting Ayami Sensei. I guess. Well, this is gonna come out before I stream. And hopefully, I don't know. Actually, maybe this episode things will be on Spotify.
Yay!
Hopefully, and
Thank
other
you
streaming platforms.
for taking the. So I have this problem. I have a really big
You have
to-do
a lot
list.
of problems. Okay.
I have a lot of problems. Mentally, physically, spiritually. We're not even going there. And every day, like you guys need to understand. And I've shown you sometimes my DMs, right? Where like I wake up and I just have so many pings every day about a million different projects. And sometimes things happen where it's like urgent and important and just urgent. Everything feels urgent. And it's not true. Nothing is like, some things are urgent, but not everything. And that was important. and I let it slip through the cracks, and you, God bless you, picked up on it. You're like, girl. And like, the worst part is once you did it, it was such an easy thing to do. But I just every day have a million other things that line up before it.
I think
I'm sorry.
No, don't worry. Everybody don't blame Matara. It's fine. Or actually, instead of blaming Matara, just say, thank you, Mint. Thank you. Oh my God. Praise me. Praise me instead.
You did a really good job, and I'm very proud of you.
No, it was fine.
You're such a good girl. Mommy. Mommy. Sorry, mommy. Sorry, mommy.
I think it's because right now, a lot of things started picking up for me. So I was in like but it was like, it's not like oh my gosh, so many overwhelming things. Usually when I have so many things, I kind of break down and I just stop doing everything. But recently, I've been like, no, I need to get my butt in gear. You know what?
Yeah.
So I've been like, I actually have been like working on like talking to my accountant more, which scares the heck out of me usually.
You're
like,
doing amazing.
Oh my gosh. I talked to him the other day on the phone, getting some consultation stuff. And I know. So I was like doing that. I've been trying to like reach out to more brands and creators and just stuff to like kind of be like, hey, keep Minto in your radar. You know, like I've just been very like business mindset oriented because I'm like, I don't want to be left behind.
I get you. Yeah. And it's hard with how much work there is. But I feel like I kind of am on your level where sometimes I break down, but I've gotten better at just when you're overwhelmed because you have so much work to do, the best way to go about it is just to do your work.
I know, but it's hard sometimes.
I know.
I don't know. Usually I will I just don't do it. But recently I think I got to the point where I was just like, okay, if I don't do it, like I'll never move forward. No one else will. Yeah, no one else will.
That's the biggest thing when you work for yourself. It's like, I always use this example for singing. Right. And because lately, believe it or not, I've had people message me, go, how did you improve at singing? Like I am now the person that people go to and they're like, wow, how did you improve at singing? Because I remember when you sucked even more. And the worst part about it is I just have to say, I just rehearsed. I just sang and I did it and I just put in the work and I learned. And unfortunately, it's like that with everything. How did anybody ever do anything? They just put in the work.
Yeah. Oh,
that's it.
We sound like a real podcast right now. We're just like, put in the work.
Oh my God. Oh, I love this. Do you know? You know what is his name? William Smith? Oh my God. He has this really cringy, funny quote that I love it. And they always, you know those mixes where it's like 25-8, like hustler, alpha wolf.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he's like, the difference, and they always put it with this like amazing choir music. The difference between you and me is that if we both get on the treadmill, one of two things happen. You either get off first or I die on the treadmill.
My God.
It's one of my favorite quotes.
This is Will Smith?
This is Will Smith. I quote it all the time. He's like, one of two things is for sure. You either get off the treadmill or I die on the treadmill.
Oh, you said it. You said treadmill.
Not afraid to die on the... Hold on.
Oh, no.
I don't think we can show this clip because it's like, you know, I don't know how we're going to show this clip. Hold on. Let me... Hold on. Episode 8. I'm just making a quick episode 8 in the Discord.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I don't think we could show it, but can you please just take a look at it?
Okay, I'm going to watch it real quick.
You know what we can do? I can link it in the podcast.
Oh, yeah. When it's, yeah. Why is it so long?
I'm not afraid to die on a treadmill.
I'm not afraid to die on the treadmill.
But you need to realize, like, this interview is one thing, but then people took this clip And they basically added it to like, I am not afraid to die.
Okay, the way you described it made me think he was actually screaming. This is like a Harry Potter moment where it's just like Dumbledore asked calmly, and this is Will Smith in this. If you can't watch it for any reason, Will Smith is just like, the difference between you and me is I'm not afraid to die on the treadmill. And then you hear Matara's version is like, the difference between you and me is I'm not afraid.
Because you need to understand, people took this audio
Uh-huh.
and then they like edit it and they add it next to like a picture of a man running in the sunrise, sweaty, and it's like, wake up early, grind, hustle. Will Smith once said. Like, that's why it's so different. Like, people have taken this audio out of context and like elongated it, added their own audio on it. God, I love this. I love it.
They just increased that volume 200%. It's like super crunchy.
Hold on. Ultimate motivational. Motivational.
We're a real podcast now, you guys. We're motivating you. Do you feel motivated?
Oh my God. It's some guy in Rome, like looking at the Colosseum with an axe.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Whoa. Yeah.
And the music. Oh, you know, okay, listen, this is like, pain is temporary. The glory is forever.
This is called the ultimate motivational video, To the Glory. What is this? Oh my God.
You're better than that.
It has so many views. It has 8 million views. Oh my God, this is exactly the doom kind of music that starts and then it builds up and it starts to swell and it's just like, and you can do it. Oh my God.
Can I be very honest right now?
Man on here though.
Many times in my life when I had to put in my 2 weeks at work, I would put on these playlists.
Shut up. Wait, no way, really?
That's why I know them so well. And I would just grab like a cup of coffee, these playlists, and I would be like, yeah, this is for me and my life. I'm doing this. I can do this. I can achieve my dreams.
This is when you're putting in your 2 weeks.
Yeah. Or sometimes I've actually done it like, we said we weren't going to talk about content jobs, but when I was like building my audition for a certain place that we both were in, I like listened to these to pump myself up. They work. I am a Sigma Alpha GRINDSET Wolf Alpha male.
Oh my God, she's like a success story. Oh my God. No way. Oh, this is in my history now. I can't. Oh no.
I'm going to win best motivational speech video.
That's so funny because for me, like music is what empowers me the most. Like I will like we weren't going to talk about content stuff, but for my before like my interviews and stuff, I would listen to like what's it called? Like either songs that they did or something, or like other people in the company.
Yeah.
Like or concerts, and I'd be like, that's me. I'm standing on that stage.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be there.
Yep. I've definitely done that too.
Yeah.
I can relate.
But I would listen to like songs that I really like. Oh my gosh, though.
Yeah.
That's so, I don't know. Before I turn in like a 2 weeks notice, I don't know what I do. I think I sit there for the longest time and then I'm like, okay, I have to just rip off the Band-Aid, and then I go and I do it and I'm just like.
So you won't even listen to like motivational music or anything?
No.
I'm telling you, these videos are like, they're just like, you gotta live your life for you. Nobody, if you're unhappy in your life because you listen to your mom and your dad and your neighbor and your pastor, you deserve a bad life.
Screw your mom, screw your dad.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I'm quitting.
I will
I have
Oh God.
no, seriously, like that's why, again, just so we're clear, that's why I poke fun at these videos. But again, they really do help. They have helped me in the past.
Wow.
I do not yuck anyone's yum. I encourage you to take a look at these videos. If you need motivation, they really help. But it is funny, like looking back at it, to be like, I was just sitting here, like tears in my eyes in my apartment with a coffee pot and like, just like, yeah, I'm gonna do the best I've ever done.
I imagine.
I deserve it. Yeah.
I imagine you like slumped kind of in your chair holding your cup and like it's all dark and there's just the brightness of the screen like and it's like full screen on the video and you're just kind of like really like just angrily looking at it like brooding and just like a single tear goes down your face and they're just like, you have to go and make your happiness, and you're like slowly nodding like, yeah.
I'm like that cat crying meme, all my favorite ones, where I'm like, yeah, like I'm just like this. Hold on, let me post it. I'm just like this, but imagine instead of the thumb up, I'm just holding a coffee cup. I'm like, this is me. I'm gonna quit my job. I'm gonna be happy again.
Well, some people, I mean, like if you don't have someone to kind of give you these encouraging words, I mean, sometimes some people really just need to hear it from any voice, you know? I'm like, you know, some people just need to like hear it with their ears. And, you know, I get it. If it's just like, this is something to kind of get you going. Again, yeah, like you said, I'm not going to yuck anybody. I've never heard that before. Yuck somebody's yum.
Yuck someone's yum. So my big thing with these videos is I think it's really important to know how you function and know yourself. I am somebody that one of the reasons I don't watch a lot of sad or scary movies is like if I watch a sad movie, I will cry. If I watch a scary movie, I am an empath. But I genuinely feel like really deeply. So sometimes when I need motivation, putting on a video that's motivating motivates me. Who would have thought? It's like listening to EDM music while I'm running. I'm like booms, booms, you know? It really works for me.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I don't know.
I do have a question for everybody listening.
Okay.
Have you done something similar when, you know, quitting your job or applying for a job? Do you have like kind of a routine of, okay, I am, for example, preparing for a really big audition or a really big interview. How do you go about it? And also, if you are, let's say, leaving a job, a relationship, like things that are really, I don't know, you know.
I have to hype myself up to break up with my girlfriend. You can do this. Break her heart, or bring your boyfriend, break his heart. Like, damn. Oh my God.
No, but for real, like maybe let's keep it a job because I know people get like, you know, sensitive with the other stuff. But yeah, like I have listened to, and again, I've quit a lot of jobs because I am an adult who has worked a lot of jobs.
Me too.
Isn't it crazy to you sometimes that like some streamers we talk to, they've only ever had streaming as a job?
Yeah.
It blows my mind.
I think a lot of people kind of got into streaming in 2020 and probably like they, you know, went from school, like high school to streaming, and like some people, I know,
or high school, university streaming, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of crazy. I don't know. I had my first job though in high school, so.
This is a perfect segue into where we're going because we are actually going to talk about some of our horror stories from some of our jobs. Just like you, I did also have jobs, my flesh woman, when she was younger. But for my stories, I'm mainly going to talk about jobs that my flesh woman has held as an adult. Just because, you know, there's a few times when I've definitely done some work that I'm not sure if I should talk about it on the internet.
Okay, when you say it like that, people's imagination is gonna go crazy.
Okay, I'll give a little hint. When my flesh woman was like not yet a teenager, she like got some strange job bouqueting flowers in like a fridge.
Okay, see, that's...
Nobody spoke English and she got paid cash, and it was like way lower than minimum wage.
I really love how before the stream you said you were not going to say that.
No, there's another story I will say, but like, things like that where I don't think it's really worth like deeply diving into this and discussing this.
Right. Well, like,
It's,
okay.
I've
had jobs,
just immigrant things.
I had jobs where like, but it was like my parents or like, like or like a neighbor would pay me to like watch their kids, but I was still like, I wasn't super old.
I cannot imagine
like,
you watching kids.
Oh, me neither. Oh my God. Okay, actually,
I
lied.
lost them the moment I started watching them.
I don't think I actually ever got paid for watching kids, but I did get paid for watching pets. So.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's cute.
Yeah, and I was like a kid. I would go over to my neighbor's house while they went on vacation, and I would, like, feed their dog or walk their dog or whatever. So, like, that I get, like.
Did you know? Okay, I know we just segued properly into but I have to segue out of it.
Okay.
There's people who make a living dog walking.
Oh, I know that.
If you're in the really busy city like New York, San Francisco, where people are too busy to take care of their dogs, you walk 5 dogs and it's like it's usually $25 to $50 to walk a dog for 2 hours or something.
Yeah.
And you walk 5 of them, you walk in the morning, lunchtime, 3 p.m., 5 p.m., tons of money cash, and you're getting all your steps in. I'm in the wrong career. I could be walking dogs.
It makes me so sad because I'm just like, what? When does the dog ever see their owner if they're too busy to walk them even one time a day? Like, I get that there are some people that are really on that grind, but it just makes me so sad for the pet. I'm glad though that they can, I guess, afford to pay someone to walk them because there are people that have that same kind of grind and can't walk their dogs or, and it makes me so sad for them. And like,
Would you be a dog walker?
I don't know.
I think you're too small.
I think
and I think you're too light as a ghost that the dogs would run.
I think so too. I was going to say, I think I wouldn't be able to because the ghost in me, the ghost part of me would be.
Even some dogs that are kind of like, I'm thinking of I think it's called wait, is it a Rottweiler what I'm thinking about? Hold on. No, maybe I'm thinking of a bulldog where it's like it's not a Rottweiler. I'm thinking of a bulldog where bulldogs aren't very big, but if a bulldog starts like running fast, it's all muscle.
Oh yeah, they're really beefy.
They're really strong. Yeah. I know they don't look like they're that strong, but if you're really small and you don't weigh a lot, and they can easily they're the ones. Same thing with like a pit bull terrier. They're small, but if a pit bull terrier just starts running fast as heck and you're not ready for it, oh my God.
Bulldogs are the ones with like the scrunchy faces, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, there's and like forget it if you have a bigger dog like a boxer, a German Shepherd. If they start running,
heck no.
You need like a strong, tall, muscled person to hold them down.
And then especially if you're doing more than one dog, like it'd be crazy.
Usually a lot of those dog walkers in the cities, it's usually a lot of small dogs. Like they'll have like on their leash like a few poodles, maybe a chihuahua,
I'll be honest, every time I see those people, like even though I know it's not their dogs, I'm just like, wow, you are like living such a luxurious
right?
life. It just feels like wow, I know it's their job, but I'm like, oh my God, like it's just like they're walking and they usually look so good and they're holding on to their like 10 dogs and they're just like like they just have a energy about them. Like I'm like maybe it's because they're controlling the dogs so well usually and they just like look like they're in command and I'm like, wow, you just have your life together. Like look at you handling those dogs and you're getting paid for it. Like wow. I don't know.
Oh my God. I was going to talk about this and I just remembered. I just looked it up online. So I know for a fact that there's people who do Airbnb, but instead of Airbnb, it's like you can leave your dog with them for 2 weeks or 10 days. I just found a website and it's like $35 per night, $40 per night, where like people will leave their dog with you for, 2 weeks. Whoa. And you're getting paid $35 to like take care of someone's dog.
So it's like it's not like a doggy daycare. It's like a Airbnb for the dog. So a doggy daycare is like a hotel, and then
it's more so like you have a home usually with one or no animals, and then like their dog will stay at your home.
Oh, that's so interesting. You know what?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know some people that have done that where like they'll just have a dog stay with them for 2 or 3 days or stuff like that. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah, I might have to look into that.
You have to look into that. Isn't that fun? And you could just have someone's like cat or dog stay with you for a few days.
Okay, cats. you would have to have no cats in your house.
Yeah, because it's tougher. But
dogs are like, oh, hi, dog. You're my friend, dog. Like,
I'm looking through the stuff, and people are like, for the people are like, dog walking in your neighborhood, $15 per walk, doggy daycare in the sitter's home, house sitting in your home, boarding in the sitter's home.
What?
Yeah, and like how they can watch dogs up to a certain amount of pounds because maybe like and then one person saying like, I loved our dog staying with her because they could like they were sending me pictures throughout.
Wow. Oh my gosh, there's something for every service you need.
I think I can share this website. It's called rover.com.
Rover.com.
And you can just like look up your zip code and things like that and just kind of see where there's...
Oh, look at the cat on there.
But yeah, and you can just imagine a bunch of our viewers just start dog walking. Genuinely, okay. I think if you are looking for a summer job and you want something easy, I think dog walking, like you don't even have to take 5, like take 2 dogs. You know, what is it? I saw some of these, it's like $15 a walk, $20 a walk, you know?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And then you can listen to the podcast while you're walking.
While you're walking your dog. There, you see, you know what's up.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I wonder if this is the website my friends used when they did dog sitting.
And it's so funny
because they explained it to me that it was kind of like a Airbnb, but like for dogs kind of. And this exactly like the way the UI and everything looks is very Airbnb-esque. Sorry, what were you saying? I think I interrupted you, my love.
Oh, no, I was just saying it's so funny because if you switch I'm looking for service for my dog, it's like, okay, when are you away? When are you for work? What's your size? And for cat, it's just like bare minimum information. But yeah, services
because cats don't need as much, right? Like for dogs, you got it. Yeah, like giant. My dog size: small, medium, giant, large.
I have an update. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I actually talked about the last update with my cats in the Patreon episode. But I have another update.
Go.
Oh my god. Okay. So remember how I said my cat got rejected? And I was so sad for him?
Yeah, and you were saying that he was like, yeah.
Yeah. The other night, I was like finishing up work and I went to, they have some beds in another room that has more sunlight. And I went to go look at them and they were laying in the same bed together. And she was licking him.
Oh my God, they are in love.
No, they're not. That's not what I want. No, they are friends. But
they are friends in love.
No! The age gap is too much.
I mean, listen.
But oh my gosh, I took a picture. I will show it. It's so cute.
Please.
They were actually, well, this is after
I'm just happy your cat gets to, you did good. You wanted to give him, a youthful woman to energize him, and you did.
I mean, I wasn't supposed to be a woman, actually. I just wanted him to have a friend. Okay.
Hey.
And it ended up working out. I'm so happy. That's my update, everybody. They're officially friends, probably.
Can't wait for the photos. Can't wait. Yeah, they're officially friends. They were roommates.
And they were roommates. This is right after the licking ceremony. You can see his fur is like a little scruffled. Because she licked it.
Oh, she was giving him love. She was licking him.
And they were laying in the same bed even though he took up most of the bed.
I wish I had a woman to lick me.
And he always, like when I had my last cat, he loved getting his ears licked and she was licking his ears.
Oh,
I know.
I wish I had a woman licking my ears.
Yeah, they're friends now. I'm so happy.
I wish my younger friend woman. Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry.
Yeah, please shut up.
I like how you this is one thing about me. When I start doing something stupid, you have to ignore me and I'll stop. If you feed into it and you go, how could you say that? I'm going to keep going.
I know. You're just like, where's my friend to lick my ear? I'm like, anyway, my cats.
Oh my God, yesterday we had a Bishoujo collab for Henya's 1 year.
Oh yeah.
And I said something a little out of pocket. And only Michi heard me and she just didn't talk. And then I was like, oh, like, you know, I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry, guys. That was really embarrassing. Michi's like, yeah, that was embarrassing. You should feel bad. Oh, that was bad. She's like, I heard you and I judged you.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, do you want to repeat to the class what was so?
It was something stupid. Like, I forget what Mel said something. She was like, oh, I'm a this person. I was like, I thought you were a butt person.
Oh.
Yeah. Project Melody, you know, she does a little bit of erotic content on other websites. So that, you know.
Where and they're allowed.
Genuinely, like, nobody really heard me except Michi. And she's like, I heard you. And I didn't give it to you. Like, you suck.
I was watching Henya's 1 year until I went to go stream. But she's so cute.
I love her so much.
Her 3D.
So
I'm so happy.
Much. I cannot wait for her 3D. I love her. She fills my days with joy.
Me too.
God.
I became happier 1 year ago.
Yeah.
I became happy
same.
1 year ago. I was sad and depressed until 1 year ago.
I love her so much. If y'all still don't watch Henya the Genius, she streams mainly on Twitch television, but she does have some YouTube videos. Oh my God, she's in a few of my YouTube videos if you want to go check that out.
Oh my God. Plug. Shameless. Wow.
Shameless. No, she's just so sweet and so, like, God, I love her.
Yeah.
Just genuinely, like, makes me happy. Just, like, every time I'm around her, she just, and you know the craziest thing, like, she makes everyone around her cuter. Like, when she was with you, you got cuter.
What do you mean?
You're already cute, but you got cuter when you're collabing with her. You were, like, so cute. I don't know.
What do you mean? You said that before, and I still don't understand what you mean.
When we had the collab, you just were cuter. Like, she just has, like, a cuteness buff around her. Like an aura.
Oh, yeah, she does. Yeah. I agree.
But it makes other people in her vicinity cuter.
Okay.
You're like, anyway, back to jobs.
I don't understand.
I'm sorry. It makes sense in my brain. Does anybody else know what I'm talking about? It makes sense in my brain.
I think they're all going to say, no, Matara, we don't understand.
We don't understand because Mint is the cutest. You are very cute.
I'm shaking
Extremely
my head.
Cute.
I'm shaking my head.
So cute.
I'm shaking my head.
So cute.
Shaking
I like it. I like when you get shy.
Jobs.
Jobs done. Job. All right, jobs. So for today, we I just wanted to kind of talk about some of our horror stories or funny stories or anything like that, because, you know, we both have something in common being hags, is that we've worked jobs before content.
Yeah.
Sometimes illegally, but
no.
In my case, allegedly, in my case, you know, before appropriate working age. But
I guess
the jobs,
you know, it's you just came to, you know, Earth, and it's like, you know, it's different, you know.
It's different. You're right.
Yeah.
But we just want to talk about some of them. So you and I both outlined a few, like, I wrote down, like, breakfast restaurant. I wrote down restaurant, cry and fridge, nap time story. Don't work with your best friend.
Oh no, the not the nap time story. Didn't you say that on a podcast episode, or was that just in private?
I think I spoke about it on a stream, but I definitely spoke about it in private with you. Okay. I'm not sure if but I have a lot of other stories before that.
Yeah.
So how would you like to go about this?
I don't know. We've worked quite a few jobs. I guess we could start at like the first one that we want to talk about.
Do you want to start?
Okay. So I mostly have worked. I say I mostly worked office, but I think it's just that I worked not the most in an office, but like the longest in an office. So I didn't work the most office jobs. I worked the longest in an office, but the first job that I ever had that was like an official job was I worked at a pizza place. But I didn't work there very long because the manager was like really weird, and I reported him, and then the place got shut down. It was not.
I'm not sure I want the details on that one.
It was not great. The guy was a little weird. Not to me, to other people. And I was just like, he's being weird to these people. And I carried my way through. And then I lost my job because the place got shut down.
You girl bossed a little too close to the sun.
Yeah. But that's okay.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
But I'll be honest, I kind of miss it. I was just like, not the job itself, but the pizza place. Because it was good. I was like,
what do you miss about the pizza place? Was it just like how easy the job was, how fun it was?
No, I missed the food. It was yummy.
Oh.
I was like, dang, I really wish I could get some of this pizza. So good. And then obviously, like, because I worked there, like we could make, well, not obviously, not every job allows this, but we were like for breaks, we would make what kind of pizza we wanted and like.
Oh, that's
that's
actually really, and you didn't have to pay?
Nope, no paying.
Wow. Could you access all ingredients or did you have to be kind of like
no access
wow,
to anything.
That's really cool of them.
Yeah. Or if like, I didn't make any of the pizzas, but if I was just like, hey, I want this pizza for lunch, can you make it for me? They would.
That's really cool of them. I know a lot of places are not like this.
Yeah.
I have a few of those in my stories later. Wow.
Yeah, it was super duper nice. I mean, I can't say it was nice. Not maybe the super duper is a little exaggerated. But the free food is over super duper though, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Free pizza is incredible.
Yeah.
No complaints there. Absolutely no complaints.
I think almost every fast food place or every food place I've worked at, maybe I've gotten free food. Except one. I worked at a fast food place and there was not free food there. And I actually only worked there for 1 week.
Did they make you pay half or?
Yes, we paid half.
That's usually how they do it. Yeah.
I only worked there for a week though.
Oh yeah, I don't know if that like is work. It's like, when people go, I've been to this country. Oh yeah. I mean, I transited through the airport. Yeah. No, you have not been to the country if you layovered at an airport, buddy. That's not how it works.
I think I got my fill of the job. So essentially what happened was I was so desperate for something. I was like, oh my gosh, I just need a job. Like, and I was in between jobs. So I applied for a fast food place that was down the street. Mm-hmm. And all they had was third shift. So. Oh,
so that's like the graveyard shift, right?
Yeah, I would work from like 5 p.m. to 3 a.m. And.
Can you repeat that?
5 p.m. to 3 a.m.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that is third shift. That's not graveyard. Graveyard is like midnight to 8 a.m., right? Yeah. So, okay. Ugh.
Yeah. And
wait, that's such a long shift. No, 5 plus 2
it was very
plus
long.
3. That's 10 hours.
The reason I would get off at 3 is because people were supposed to stay. Like we closed, I think, at 1. But people would leave and be like, okay, Mint, we're not going to stay for cleanup. You just do it yourself. And so because I was a pushover and I was just like, okay, I would stay by myself and clean for 2 hours. And then I would go home and I would cry. I was just like, I was like, I don't think I could do this anymore. So I applied for another job and I got it.
Smart. You had your motivational podcast.
Yep.
Motivational. You deserve a good life.
If you're getting home at 3 a.m. and you're crying, what are you doing?
Yeah. Do better. Love yourself because no one's going to love you otherwise.
Yeah. Stand up for yourself and don't let those jerks leave when they need to clean too. I think actually they would like quote unquote clean, but like, I don't know. I think I'm just too much of a clean freak and I would be like, this is not getting clean.
Oh, can we live together, please? I love living with people like you because they're always like, stop, don't clean. I'll do it.
I know.
I'm like, okay.
I know because I'm like, it's not.
I'm like, sure, yeah.
I'm like, it's not clean unless I know the quality of it being like, like. Oh,
like, you know what? No, let me do it. I'm like, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, you'll use me and abuse me.
But it's going to be clean.
Yeah. Yeah.
So kind of worth it, right?
I'll clean it.
No, you'll clean it.
What about you? So I talked a little bit about mine. What about you?
Okay. Let me go into, I have like per place, I have a few stories.
Okay.
So I could probably go into one place and just like get as much out as I can. Feel free to ask questions. So I worked at a breakfast restaurant for I think like 3 years. This was still when my flesh woman was like kind of younger. So it was a great job because you could work the weekends, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. or like let's say 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. You walk out of there, you got some cash tips, you work your ass off. It's one of those jobs, breakfast restaurants, where they move really quickly. So as long as you're, just out of there, you get your stuff done. In the summer, I would get the 5 a.m. shift.
Oh.
So you walk in, you're alone, you open everything, you buy newspapers. Yes, at that time, you bought newspapers for people to read. And I'd be out of there by like after the lunch rush, noon, 1 a.m., made a bunch of money,
That's
go
so
out in the summer with my friends.
Yeah.
That being said, I have learned some tea about franchising. I don't know if anybody here knows what franchising is, but very quickly. So, for example, you can own a McDonald's. You can own a Tim Hortons. Basically, you will buy a store from them. Sometimes it depends on the places, but they'll usually cost you between like $150,000 to maybe $1 million, depends on the place.
Holy moly.
Yeah. But did you know when you franchise something, you have to buy their branded everything? Let me explain.
Okay.
Breakfast restaurant, you couldn't just go buy your eggs at the grocery store for grocery store price. You had to buy their branded chocolate chips, coffee, coffee things, and it costs way more. That's how they get you. So your profit margins are way smaller. So when the place that I was working on got franchised, meaning somebody bought it to be its owner, they often did a lot of shady stuff where if we would run out of eggs, they'd like buy a little bit of eggs. But you never knew when the inspector would come. So they would always have to be like, so for example, the boss worked at the kitchen. They were there 12, like I think we were open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. They were there 7 days a week. Because they would try to buy all the like cheaper eggs, cheaper milk, cheaper chocolate chip, cheaper apples, cheaper everything. And they had to be there in case an inspector came. So they knew how to like,
get around,
hide it, maybe put it in the office, things like that. So I've said this story before on stream, but I want to say it. So, usually a lot of these places have regulars that come usually at lunchtime or in the mornings. And in the mornings, things tend to be a little bit cheaper. Like usually you have like the early bird specials before 9 a.m. This old lady would come in and she would basically put 4 quarters on the table because her meal at the early bird special, I think she got like a coffee and a piece of toast with jam. So it was maybe like $3.50, right?
Yeah.
And she would leave me 25 cents, which 4 quarters. So $1 tip on $3.50, amazing. Like, whatever. But what she would do is the first time you ever had her as a customer, she would come up to you and be like, she would point to her coffee cup and she'd point to about 3/4 of the way with her finger. She had these really long nails with a bunch of rings. And she would say, make sure my coffee never goes below this line. And what she would do is, let's say then you get busy and you're walking around with a coffee pot and maybe you did it. She would every single time that you did it, every time her coffee dropped below that line and you didn't refill her coffee, she would take a quarter off.
Oh my God.
Out of your little pile of quarters.
It's like a video game.
I remember talking about this with my flesh mother at the time, and I was like, how can somebody be so comically evil? And that's when my flesh mother was like explaining to me that some people are just bored. To some people, this is like the most fun. Like to her, that's her daily like fun. She goes out and terrorizes young waitresses.
It's also like a control thing though, right?
It is.
Too, like, yeah.
She must have been freaky in the bedroom.
I bet. Probably was just like, I guess another quarter for less for you.
Like, I'm telling you, like she very, and like if you, obviously I wouldn't like try to talk to her about it or anything, but she would just like, sometimes I'd hear her talk about it with like, her husband or anything. And she would just be like, well, I just got to teach people, like it's the work ethic.
Oh, no.
You just got to teach people how to work hard. You just got to, and again, she's allowed to do what she wants. I have one thing I want to quickly say, because I know we're going to have people talk about tips since I brought it up. I have worked for tips. A lot of my stories are about work at a club, at a restaurant, at a bar. I've worked really hard. I've made a lot of money. Even as somebody who has worked a lot for tips, I believe instead you should just pay waiters a little bit more money and we should just not have tips. as somebody who has worked pretty much like my young adulthood for, that, I think it's just easier that way. Genuinely.
And for
I think everybody should just work harder and do their stuff. By work harder, work their job better, do their stuff, not expect tips.
Right. And then for people outside of like, North America that don't really do tips, like I think, it's hard to explain tip culture, like it's so ingrained that it's like, even now it's kind of a touchy subject, so I don't want to get too much into it. But it's like, you kind of almost anywhere you go now, like it'll be like, okay, decide a tip.
It's gotten bad. Like you get a coffee and it's like, leave a 25% tip. And you're like, well, okay.
I've seen places that will like switch up the numbers so that like the 25% is usually where like, the lower one is or something. So it's kind of like, it's, and like, I do tip because, I understand that the people working are not making, the what they need to live on, because that's how the tipping culture works. But it's gotten a little insane with
it is starting to change a little bit in Canada. And I know this because I live kind of between two major cities, and when I go visit either of those major cities, there's a lot of restaurants now that will say, we do not do tip here, but we have our menu prices a little bit more expensive. And I try to go to those restaurants more because I'm like, okay, I like this. I want to keep supporting this. Let's keep doing this.
Yeah.
But back to this breakfast restaurant.
Yeah.
So the manager that basically we got an owner, and I'm calling him a manager, but he was the owner when he started franchising the place. He franchised the place, and he basically, the first thing, unfortunately, that happens anytime a new owner or a new boss comes in. Is they'll usually pick a fight with everybody. I don't know why it is the way it is.
Really?
Maybe you guys could explain it to me. I've noticed that like almost every time you get a new boss or new management, they kind of come in, they're like, this is my way or the highway.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes they are correct that things need to change, but sometimes it's like, hey, this waiter has worked here for 12 years. So a lot of waiters that work breakfast restaurants, they're lifers. They have been there since they were 20. Now they're 45 and they're going to retire with this job. They know every single customer. They know every single thing. They know how it's going to work. And if you try to change things too dramatically, it does not work.
Not good, yeah.
But basically this manager, what he would do is you're supposed to, in Canada, if you fire somebody, let them know, especially if they worked, I think, longer than 6 months at the place, because then you're kind of a little bit more protected. The manager would just take us off the schedule.
Oh my God.
Or they like wouldn't update the schedule till Sunday late at night, and they would schedule you on the Monday morning. And if you don't know, well, then they'd be like, oh, you were late to your shift.
No.
So now you're fired. Like they would, I remember it was really toxic with this manager. He fired so many people by just taking them off the schedule.
Oh my God. Then how are you going to run a place if you're going to fire everybody? Like,
because like you just get more people, right? It's you just do that. You just get more people.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So when they franchised, did they acquire a different business to become, or did they like?
No, so it was already that business. It was already, let's just say it's a McDonald's. It was already a McDonald's, and then somebody bought and franchised it. So they're like, okay, you can have this McDonald's. Like McDonald's will no longer own it. Now you own it, but now you report directly to McDonald's.
Okay,
so it's your thing, but you have to do everything McDonald's menu, everything McDonald's stuff.
Okay. I like understand it. Like when you like when they're just like you have to buy the branded stuff. Like I get the thought behind it, because it's just like you go to a McDonald's and everything, no matter where it is,
and you expect McDonald's quality. Yeah, that's the whole point.
McDonald's quality, like it's gourmet. Like yes, my fries are not.
I love my McDonald's quality.
But yeah, no, I get it. So it's like you go anywhere and it all tastes the same. But like when it's like when they're upcharging for it, then it's like yeah.
I have a few more stories about this place.
Okay.
So one thing, so we had these really heavy, if you ever been to like a breakfast place, you have like these big plates, because usually it's like your 2 eggs and ham and whatever and bacon and all. And so the plate, he would basically charge us $5 if we broke a plate, which is crazy. I worked in a lot of restaurants where when you break a plate, you don't pay, or maybe like $1 or $2 if you break a lot of plates.
$5 if you break
his excuse was The plate is $10. They're expensive, nice plates, so you had to give him $5.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, he would say you had to give him $5. Another thing that he did, so you were not allowed to eat on your shift. So sometimes like I would start at 7 and finish at 3. So sometimes I remember I would be so hungry, ravenous during the shift that I would just open up those little packs of peanut butter that you give, you know, when people butter their toast with like peanut butter and jam. And I would just eat like 2 spoonfuls of peanut butter and like run back out. Oh my God. But another thing that he did, so he didn't give us, a lot of restaurants, what they do is they give you kind of like a family meal or a staff meal. It's usually a sandwich or like spaghetti, but they usually feed you a little bit during the shift because you're running around all day. They don't want you to get out and like take lunch off and go outside to eat.
Yeah.
But for him, what he would do is, you know, sometimes you are punching things on the computer and let's say they want a salmon eggs Benedict and you accidentally put in ham eggs Benedict, whatever. And then it comes out, you're like, oh my God, it was a salmon eggs Benedict. And the boss would just be like, bon appetit. So he'd be like, well, I guess that's your lunch. But he'd, you know, so, and then the eggs Benedict, let's say was like $15 and you'd basically have to give him half, which is $7.50. But yeah, this place, it ended up sometimes when I go back to visit like friends who used to live there and things like that, and I see that it closed down, I'm like, good. You sucked.
I can't believe.
I do think after I left, like a lot of people were reporting it because they apparently got like always an inspector in, and my flesh mother was like, you should report him. You should do it. And I don't know.
Oh my God, do it.
I didn't know where to go. I didn't want the hassle. Fair. I hate calling things to complain. I will just suck it up.
Okay, when I said that I reported my place too, like my mom did it for me.
Mommy!
So I didn't know what to do either. I get it. But I was just like, I told her the stories and she was like, I think we need to report this place. And so, you know, I don't think she would have reported it if I hadn't said like, okay, yeah, report it.
Yeah. I do think like I've had some of the best camaraderie here because you just see people that, you know, they don't eat at home. They eat every day at this place because it's like less than $8 in the morning and then they come for lunch. And it's always the same stuff. And like they all kind of know each other and you kind of know them and they ask about your day and like you just know the regulars. And I really do. Yeah, like I really do. And then sometimes you get a regular in that you haven't seen in forever and you're like, what is going on? What have you been up to?
You quit this place. You did not get fired from this place?
I quit this place, yes.
Yeah.
Because actually I got a job at the place under it, but we'll talk about it after.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Let me think if there's any more stories I had about it. Just really fun stuff. I remember I bought a pedometer to like count my steps and I would be walking in a shift sometimes 20,000 steps. Because it seems like nothing when you're walking to the far section. But if you have a table in the far section by the window, you go see them 7 times, you know. Hi, would you like more coffee? And then if the restaurant is empty, you come up to the table, you're like, so what are you guys up to today, huh? Nice summer day. Where are we going? What's going on? You know me, I'm a talker. I'm a moocher. I'm like, so where are you guys going today, huh? What's going on? Talk to me.
Being like that waitress. Oh my gosh. Like the waitress that like, the one that like after you walk away, I'm just like, gosh, wow, they're so friendly. I'm going to leave a good tip. They're so nice.
Yep.
Oh man. Maybe I should have done.
I never truly thrived here, I think. You never did waitressing?
Yeah, I think maybe if I did waitressing, I maybe would be a little less me.
I genuinely could see you at a Maid Cafe.
Really?
Genuinely.
I am at a Maid Cafe. It's just abandoned.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
just, you know,
right now, you're just alone and you stream from it.
Yeah.
But I could see you. I also don't even know if you'd be like, I could see you as like almost head made a bit where you'd almost be like almost the director of operations, where you'd be the one that like, all right, everybody, like your attention to the stage, and you'd be the one hyping all the girls up, you know?
I have done
like
Maid Cafes at conventions before.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, and I wasn't like head maid, but I did influence some stuff. So I have had, I guess, I mean, it's like, I don't know if that counts as waitressing, but it was always fun. I remember I did it for a couple of years, and there was always a family that would come back, like a mom and her kid, and they would always come back to me. And she would tip me, which you were not supposed to do.
No.
but she would tip me. She was just like, you made this such a fun experience. And I was just like, but mom.
Yeah, you're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to tip me. Yeah, it was really fun. I don't know, but that's different
How do
than
Maid
like
Cafes work at cons, if you don't mind me asking?
I think it depends on the convention. Because I've done smaller ones and I've done bigger ones. And like, for the smaller ones, they'd had like little snacks, like kind of like packaged cakes and stuff that they would deliver. And you would be like,
would you deliver them to the tables or?
Yeah, I would deliver it to the table and be like, here's your little chocolate roll cake or whatever, or like packaged roll cake or packaged mochi or whatever the hell. And but for other conventions that I worked at, they've actually would like work with the convention center or a outside restaurant, depending on if because sometimes the convention centers don't like bringing in outside food.
Yeah. Because food is a way to make money for the convention.
Yeah, for sure.
So I get it.
100%. So they would work maybe sometimes either with a restaurant at the convention center or outsource it. But and then someone in the back would they would make the foods. Sometimes we would help with making the foods the day before or something, if it was like desserts that could be put in the fridge. And then we would take people's orders and then go pick it up, and it felt like a real restaurant, but just with the extra moe magic.
I love that. I really think you'd really enjoy doing that another time sometime.
Maybe.
But yeah.
I've
sounds
talked,
fun.
I don't know. I've talked about sorry if you can hear beeping. There's construction going on outside.
It's me beeping. I'm like, open
beep,
up.
Beep, 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 beep. I've talked about it on stream how there's just part of me people will say oh, don't you want to do this? Don't you want to work here? Don't you want to be that? And I'm like, there's such a fine line between being a fan and working at a place that you or doing something that you really love, because once you know the insides of the workings of some place, and if you were a fan of it before, and then what if you realize I've heard stories from friends that have worked at Maid Cafes being the girls were so mean to me, or they were there was the one girl that I really loved, she then was not very nice, or she just her expectations were one way and then the reality was a different way, and it's not necessarily the girls were bad, but they went in.
Sometimes people get a little maybe competitive, or maybe I know, for example, with restaurants and tips, sometimes it's why does this girl always get all the big tippers, right? Or things like that, right? Yeah. But I know in Maid Cafes you don't tip, but I get you.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it can be similar though, where it's just
can even be, why does everybody want checkies with her?
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And not with me. What am I doing wrong?
So, yeah, so it's just, and once you know those insides, the inner workings, and it's just oh my gosh, now the magic is ruined, it's just
yeah.
So it's hard, because I'm I would love to work at a Maid Cafe, but then what if I work there and it's I'm oh wait, not everybody loves working at the Maid Cafe too. And then I'm so sad.
Or what if for you it's the dream that you want to work at the Maid Cafe, but for some people it's that's, I'm just clocking in.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure that's the case even with maids that I go and see. I get it, and I try to be someone that is excited and happy and appreciative of them, because I know that at the end of the day it's work and it's a job.
Yep.
Even if they love doing it, it's still a job. And it's kind of the same if it's just if I see someone kind of getting accosted by a Karen afterwards, if I go up to them, I'll be I hope you're having a really good day, you're doing such a good job. I try to because that stuff sucks. And
I always try to be oh man, sorry you had to put up with that. Ugh.
Yeah. So,
I feel you with that kind of stuff where there's a lot of places that have a lot of magic for me, and then I think to myself I don't know. It's when you hear people who worked at Disney, right? Sometimes they talk about it, and it's oh man, you guys really, it's that bad.
I'm shut up.
Damn.
I'm I want good conditions for you, but shut up. I want to enjoy the thing. But at the same time, I'm like, it's such a thin line because it's just like, what if they're being treated poorly? And then I'm like, oh, this is the best ever. Like, but I want them to be treated better. But oh God. I don't know.
Like the breakfast restaurant was some really bad working conditions. And like he would fire people, basically like he'd fire people last minute. Sometimes people would quit during their shift. So we were like,
that's dramatic.
So many people, and then like they'd leave. So then I just would have to pick up their tables in the middle of the shift, which sounds like yay, more money, but it's so dramatic.
That's so much.
Like I told you, like I would just go up to tables and be like, so anyway, how was your guys' weekend? Oh my God, you're going golfing? What's golfing like? And just talk for like 30 minutes, you know? And it, like the memories of it still so outweigh all the negative stuff and the bad working conditions.
That's true. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's been so long since I worked a convention maid cafe, but I still remember that mom and her kid. So yeah,
that makes me so happy.
And it wasn't a bad experience by any means.
No,
but
I think at conventions too is just it's stressful. You're on your feet all day. You're exhausted. Even if you love it, it's still exhausting and it's rough.
And like the bigger one that I worked at, they would give us like 12 people a table every time, and it was like, you know, it was kind of a lot.
Oh, you mean 12 people sitting at a table?
Yeah, 12 people sitting at a table.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And it would be just one maid per table. Like it was crazy.
I think when it comes to maid cafes, from what I've noticed, like any groups more than 4, I think you kind of need more than one maid to handle them.
I agree.
Just because otherwise it's like it takes a really long time.
One time
to get everything done.
Oh my gosh! One time I was in Japan, and we went to a maid cafe. And I was like, wow, it's kind of like, there's not many people here. That's kind of nice. And then they all started pouring in. It was all these old people, like, and they were French. All these old French people, like they looked like they had just come from a business meeting, and they took up the entire cafe. I was like, what is going on here? And like they had to have like a maid on the mic, like guiding them, and like she's trying in English, and I was like, what is happening? And like they were, oh my God.
Mais oui, je veux voir ma femme de chambre. I guess it's femme de ménage, which is just like a woman who cleans.
No way.
I don't know how to even say it. Femme de chambre, it's like chambermaid. I had to look it up on Google. La servante is the servant, but I don't think
I don't think that's correct.
Bonne. Bonne means good, but it also means like a maid. Une bonne.
That's cute. I don't even know what you would call. I have no idea.
Yeah, ma servante. French, please. What are you guys doing? I don't need to translate that one to you, I think.
Oh my God. It's just like clean for me, maid.
So what other place? Oh, I guess this counts as your other place if you wanted to.
The
Maid Cafe at a convention.
It wasn't like a job though. It was just, I didn't get paid. So
tell me more then. Did you do it for volunteering at the con, or did you do it for the love of maids?
Both. Both.
¿Por qué no los dos?
After I left the fast food place, I actually immediately went to another fast food place.
Oh, double dipping.
And that one wasn't as bad. It was like, it's just very weird. Like, I don't know, like working fast food but this place was much cleaner, so I was very happy. I was like, the other one was so gross, like, you know, and I wasn't properly trained, so like I was doing drive-through, but like if I made a mistake, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do, and my timid ass is just like, I don't know who to ask. Everybody's busy. Baby. Oh God, I made a mistake, and it was just, I hated
that must have been so stressful. I'm so sorry.
But and the second one, I wasn't there for very long either, actually, now that I think about it, because I was like, okay, I really don't want to work fast food. Like, I really don't want to work fast food anymore. And I always was getting stuck with like closing shifts, and I'm like, I'm also in school, so I'm like, oh my gosh, it's you know, and I would always set my schedule to be early morning classes, so I'm just like working super duper late and waking up super duper early, and I'm like, this is not sustainable.
Just doing your best.
I'm doing my best.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. because I only worked there for about a month before. But they kind of did a similar thing where, I don't know. I think, okay, so my friend's mom got me the job, my friend was just like, you should apply for here. My mom owns this place. And I was like, okay.
Ooh.
And I applied, and then they were like,
hard to report them though.
I know.
After that.
But they were like, oh, well, we don't need more people at this location. We're going to send you to this location that's way further away. It's like the one that I wanted to work at was maybe like 15 minutes away. And then they put me at a place that was 45 minutes away.
Yeah, that's a pretty big change.
Yeah. And so I'm just like, I was like, okay, I need a job. I'll do it. Even though I even like went, all my interviews and everything were at the first place. So it's, I was like, this whole switcheroo was so annoying.
I agree. They should have told you way earlier, I think.
Yeah, right. But, so I went to work at the second place, and I don't think his mom liked me very much. Like, because she would just kind of like start scheduling me less and less. And I was just like, okay.
The soft firing.
Yeah, but I was only there. I think it was like a couple months. And when I started realizing that my schedule was like, and I didn't think I was a bad employee.
Well, we never think we're bad employees,
that's
right?
That's true. Maybe I'm not good out for
think
food.
about, this is like, I saw this meme, but it's like, think about the worst employee you know. They probably think, man, these people at my job suck.
No. Well, I mean, like, yes, but like, no, I think there are definitely people that just don't care. Like, there are people that show up and like really just are there to like do the bare minimum, which is not bad in any means. Like,
hey,
you know,
do you?
I'm someone who likes to
away from me, but do you?
Yeah.
I'm not sharing my tips with you, but you live your best life.
I think it's because I was like I'm a perfectionist. So like if I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is not clean enough. And like, I don't think that because of that, like maybe she thought I was a little slower because I'm like, oh, I'm cleaning the bathroom. And they're just like, oh, but that should have been done like, 10 minutes ago. And I was like, oh, but it was really dirty. Like,
yeah,
like
I get you. Mm-hmm.
So me trying to be better made me worse, I suppose. I needed to be better and faster, I guess. But then I started working at my first office job after
How
that.
did you get that from how did you go from basically, usually it's always hard to like get your first foot into anything, right?
It is.
After you went, how did you go from fast food to first office job? Because that's a pretty big jump. And I'm sure maybe a lot of our viewers, this could be interesting to them.
Honestly, it was just finding like the most entry position that I could, because usually for other office jobs, as long as you have one office job on your resume, usually they'll be like, oh, okay, you've worked in an office. Like you haven't just worked
you kind of know
food.
what to do.
Yeah, exactly. And like mine, I stayed there for a couple of years, and it was just data entry. Like this is where I would listen to all my raunchy books.
Yup. She lived her best life.
It's crazy how many books you can find on YouTube and just put it on a playlist.
Hey, and for all of you that might be getting these jobs this summer, Mint and Matara's summer podcast, summer special.
Yeah. Listen to us for an hour or whatever.
So how did you basically like, you just went for the most basic position is how you, entry level, sorry. But,
most entry level kind of position. And I don't remember how many jobs I applied to. This was definitely not one that I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a long-term career. But
this is my gig.
Yeah.
I'm so thrilled.
Especially because the business was kind of shady. Like, it wasn't that, well, okay, let me rephrase. The business was not.
You have a way to, wow.
The business was not shady. It was, I think the product was kind of like.
Was it vapes?
No.
Were you selling vapes to children like Ludwig?
What? Wait, what?
Yeah, Ludwig's big joke is he's always like, before streaming, like, because he was selling vapes, and his joke is like he was selling vapes to children. But yeah, he just worked as like marketing at a vape company. No, he was doing marketing. Well, okay, he was doing marketing at a vape company, but if you're marketing, you're usually marketing to who, and then probably children would have bought the vapes. So he wasn't directly like handing a vape to a child, but his marketing probably at some point directly handed a vape to a child.
Okay. I mean, maybe make the marketing not targeted towards children.
I don't know what kind of marketing he was doing.
I'm not a doctor.
So that's the I'm not a scientist or anything. So you weren't marketing vapes to children?
No, not that I know of.
You're sure? Okay.
I'm going to double check. Let me check my resume one more time. Oh no, it says marketing vapes to children. Oh my God.
It says find creative solutions to reach a broader audience.
Children
in the 13 to 17 demographic.
Oh my God. I'm the baddie.
Duh. So you thought the company, how much can you talk about them being shady without?
Like I said, I think, okay, so it was before anybody thinks of anything. No, it was not a pyramid scheme.
Okay, the fact that you have to start with that is iconic.
No. And I'm saying that because of the type of what we were selling.
Yeah.
But my friend has tried to get me to join pyramid schemes before. So
I think that's just the reality of being an adult.
I think so too.
If nobody has asked you to join their pyramid scheme, you're not an adult.
Well, this was also when I was in between jobs and like I was still a student. She was just like, why don't you join this place? Because the pyramid scheme that she joined was selling insurance. And so I didn't want to say the company that I was working at was selling insurance because I was worried some people might be like, oh, it was that pyramid scheme place. No, it was just, I feel like insurance is like kind of like a little, you know,
it can get a little dicey.
It can. And so, and I would see some of the like claims that would come in, and like, I mean, I'm just typing in people's information.
Yeah, you're just the messenger.
Exactly. I'm not handling any
You're
of that.
listening to milking minotaurs and typing away.
Exactly. But sometimes I would hear like some of the things that they would be like, oh, but this technically was this, so we can't cover it. Whatever. And I'm just kind of like, it was like half insurance, half, how do I say?
Half scam.
Probably. Half warranty. Like half like, you know, if something happens within this time, you will get this amount of money or whatever. So it was that kind of work. And I was kind of mostly like, why are people buying this? But people were buying it, so I was having a job. But my manager, she was so, oh my gosh, she was so crazy. She was so micromanagey. Like, I eventually got a friend this job with me. And we were...
Hey, that's how the pyramid starts. You come at the bottom and then you put somebody under you.
No, it wasn't a pyramid scheme. There was no pyramid about it. It was not I should have never even brought it up here.
No, I know. We are, by the way, just, I think people know, but we are obviously very much joking, y'all.
Yeah.
Go on. Yeah, we're making really funny jokes.
We were on break and we like kind of locked ourselves in an office.
We were on a break.
And we were laughing and our manager bust in there and she was like, what are you laughing about? Why are you laughing? You are not supposed to be having fun. Like genuinely, like seriously. Like we were on break and we were laughing about a joke and she was like, you guys are being so disruptive. And like maybe we were being a little loud. I don't know, but like, oh my gosh, calm down, lady. She like did like a background check on everyone in my family and printed it out and handed it to me. She was like, here is your family's background check and everything that they've done bad in their lives. And like handed me all this paper and I was like, okay. And she was like, do you want this? And I was
anything juicy that you found out about? You're like, my mother did what?
Well,
my mother stole cars? What?
Oh my gosh, I could have known everything about my grandma. I think I already know everything about my grandma. I think
I already know so much about your grandma. Everything I've learned against my will.
Yeah, I don't think she holds back anything.
God, but, my idol, my Oshi.
She's crazy. But yeah, no. I didn't accept it. I was like, I don't really want to see this. And she's like, are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to know everything about your family? And I was like, no, I think I'm good. Like,
that is funny. That is I do have to say that is some weird like power thing to be like, I researched your family here. Are you like, that's also so invasive. Like, I'm getting the job. Why does it matter if my mom stole cars for a living before this?
Well, it was when I
my
had
mom
the job.
getting the job. It's me.
I was at the job for a while, and she just did this one day without
then
me
it especially
asking.
doesn't matter how many cars your mom is stealing, you know?
I was like, why do I need this information? Why do you get what? It was just very weird. But overall, the place was pretty good. I remember distinctly. Sometimes I would do data entry. Sometimes I would do like putting together pamphlets, like of what
pamphlets
the insurance was. Yeah,
I thought it was pamphlets.
Pamphlets?
Pamphlets?
I don't know. Okay, thread mills.
Oh my God, now I know how people feel when it happens. Holy shit.
Hey.
Pamphlets.
Is it pamphlet?
It's so good.
Or pamphlet?
Pamphlet.
Okay.
Pamphlet. I'm going to start saying pamphlets because that's amazing.
It's cuter sounding. Pamphlet.
Pamphlets. How long did you stay there?
I was there a couple of years.
Oh, so that was like your big girl job for a while.
Yeah. I mean, it made decent money. It was better than like fast food, and it was so easy, and they were pretty good about me like going to school. And I had to work in the mornings as well because I wasn't making quite enough. But
yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I worked in the mornings, then I went to school, then I worked later for this. Yeah.
You are talking about the adult experience. I just, wow. That is the adult experience. Holy cow.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. So it really wasn't until streaming that I felt comfortable with money, which is kind of insane. But
right?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm glad you're at a place where you feel comfortable. And also, you know, that even though you have, like you said, more of a perfectionist nature, so you take a little bit longer to get stuff done. Now you're in a place where your audience appreciates it, right? Like you're appreciated for the work that you do, even if you take a little bit longer to get it out.
You appreciate it,
versus being at a place. Right? Yeah, they appreciate you. They appreciate you. They love you.
Thanks for appreciating my perfectionism.
I appreciate you sometimes.
I appreciate you too.
All the time. I love you. Okay. Back to stories. Otherwise, we're going to get to this part of the podcast where it's like, okay. So I left the breakfast restaurant. Actually, I did not want to give them my 2 weeks.
I just looked at the time and you are only at the breakfast. Leaving the breakfast.
Okay, my stories are fast. I'm like, bing, bam, boom. I got a bunch of stories. I got stories on stories. Fast, speed, violence, momentum. So I did not initially want to give the breakfast restaurant my 2 weeks notice, but they really like, it wasn't even the manager. It was the other girls who were like, oh, please. And I was like, you know what? I hate the owner, but the other girls and guys that work there, I've worked with them for a few years. They're nice people. But the problem was I was working the breakfast restaurant and the boss scheduled me as much as he could at the end there. I was going to school, and then at night I was doing my training for the bar plus club place that I started working at.
So you also did something similar where it's like, you know.
But I was working both at the same time plus school. I don't know how I had the energy. This is the craziest part to me. And I think we've talked about it a little bit, but when I was a young boy, I would function on like 5 hours of sleep, 4 hours of sleep. I would go to a job. I would go to school. I would go to another job. I would somehow make time to like go to the neighborhood bar to see my friends for a beer. Now I'm like, I've only had 9.5 hours of sleep. Oh, my stomach hurts. Like, I don't understand how now, and I get it, like, content is a slightly different job where I'm always thinking about content. I never disconnect, but oh my God, like, I don't know how I used to do it. I was so young and full of energy. And so like, if y'all think 25 is bad, just wait till you hit 35. All right, everybody. It's all downhill.
I don't know. I still feel like I'm getting 5 hours of sleep and doing everything. I I don't know.
You are. I need my sleep. I don't know how you function like that. You've seen me at conventions sometimes with you where like it's 9:30 p.m. and I am Victorian child crumbling
And
in
I'm
the
like,
bed. And I'm like, please, let's talk tomorrow. I can't focus. Just let me die. Like, stop holding on. Let me slumber.
Not me.
Not me. I'm ready to fight. You're like doing jumping jacks in the middle of the night.
You told me to do jumping jacks. I was like,
Because you had too much energy. So at this bar club, it was kind of an experience because if you've never worked at a bar or club, it's very different. Like when I was working at the restaurant, it's all about being friendly. The friendlier you are, the more money you make. Everyone's really happy. And then when I got to the bar club, people told me, all the waitresses told me this, and my bosses, they were like, be mean to your clients. Be cool. Don't come to the table. Yeah. They said, don't come to the table right away. Like, give people time. At a breakfast restaurant, it's like, bam, 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 bam. You'll see like 100 people in a day. At a club, it's like you'll see a few people. And basically what this was, it was kind of, they're called supper clubs, where you show up, you have dinner, and then you move the tables and everybody buys bottles. It's awful. Don't go to a supper club. The food sucks. Everything sucks. Like
I've
anyway.
never been to I've never been.
If you ever want to go, let me know. But it's just
okay.
loud. Yeah, exactly. But basically, like, it just kind of opened me up to a whole new world where I went from this place where the boss sucked, but the waiters, we all helped each other. Because a lot of these waiters, they worked at the breakfast restaurant for like 15, 10 years, 3 years, 5 years. It's a lot of people that you just see them every week and see them every week. Here, it was lions versus lions.
What?
Where I came in and this is the craziest story, but like I came in and I was blonde and the girls basically all pressured me to dye my hair a reddish brown because we had too many blondes. I'm not kidding. And like I, being a much younger adult, I did it because I was intimidated.
Oh.
Yeah. And basically even the boss was like, look, like I can only have so many blondes on a shift. And I know it sounds crazy. And again, this is nothing shady. It's just a restaurant with bottle service and all that stuff. But that's just how it worked.
Sounds like idols too.
Right. There was this big event called Grand Prix, which is like the Formula One racing. And this restaurant had a big thing. And I remember when that was happening, the boss was like, hey, seniority wise, like you're pretty far down the line. But if you dyed your hair, it was like reddish brown or like dark brown, I think I'd put you on because we don't have any redheads.
Oh.
So I basically
it's like business move. Oh my God.
I went to the pharmacy and just got like box red dye and dyed my hair red, and I got put on a crazy shift, by the way. It was insane. But it was like stuff like that. Girls would fist fight over big tables. What? It was such a weird place with like really strange favoritism and also really strange seniority system where somebody would walk in through the door and some girl would be like, oh no, that's my client. But they like didn't know the girl at all. They just would know that these people spend a lot of money or buy a lot of bottles or things like that.
Oh, wow.
It was also a weird place where like it wasn't about how hard you work or how good you are at your job. It was just about how much can you sell. So
I can only see someone like you surviving there.
It's funny you say that. I hurt a lot and I learned a lot and I got out of there in like, I think 8 months.
Wow.
Because I came in, I learned a lot. Like it really kind of opened my eyes to like, I guess fame and money. Because also it was the kind of restaurant where like I lived in a hockey city. So like hockey players would come in, people with money would come in. And it kind of really opened my eyes to how competitive women can be and how mean women can be to one another and how, but basically it was a lot of stuff where like, if you, for example, if like some girl had a table and like, like let's say you'd like just talk to them because they'd be like, oh, how are you? Like they just talk to the girls that work. And I remember like sometimes in the back, like the waitress would like yell at you and be like, don't talk to my tables. You're trying to steal my clients. Da, 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 da.
Oh,
It was
it's so
crazy. It was like,
competitive. Oh my
it was
gosh.
like, I'm telling you, it really opened my eyes and I was like, I cannot be in these kind of environments. I cannot compete with other women. Like I think all women are beautiful. And the craziest part about this competitive environment, these were some of the most beautiful girls, like genuinely. If you go to any place, these were such beautiful women, and yet they were so angry and unhappy and competitive, and like it was wild. But fun stuff, our manager would steal our money. So the way that worked is when you sell, like usually at the end of the night, like let's say you sold for $2,000 or $5,000, you declare it, right? Because then you have your whatever. And then because of that, if you sell too much, then you were basically saying that you made a lot of tips, and the government would basically like, the way they would work the club is they wouldn't have to pay you as much money.
Okay.
So my paycheck every 2 weeks for working 40-hour weeks minimum would end up being like $5.
What?
Because what the manager would do is the manager would sell bottles for cash to his friends, but then he would punch the bottles on our stuff. And like, we just have so much stuff to check that, you know, you just trust your manager, or it's just, you know, it's 4 a.m. You're trying to get out of there. Plus you kind of drink at the job. It's one of those jobs where if you have a table that spent so much money and they're like, oh, we're getting a bottle of champagne, would you like a glass? You could say, oh, I'm not going to drink.
This sounds like hell. This sounds like...
Another thing that happened, there was one girl who she didn't drink because of her religion, but she kind of took me in as her protege. So she was like, oh, I'm not going to drink, but like she's going to drink. So that like I would drink the champagne for her.
What?
But in my case, it was beneficial because like then when she was in there, her clients knew that like they could go to me, and she didn't feel competitive with me. So it helped. So I would like drink her champagne that she wasn't drinking. I know talking about it sounds so out of this world.
It does.
But that's just kind of how clubs can work. Not every club is like this. Not every club is that bad. But last little story. So with the weird favoritism, there's probably so much more, but I'd have to like really sit down and open it up because there was this one girl that started working there. She was this genuinely, she's the kind of girl that you think would be like a politician's wife. She's like the Charlotte of like the Sex and the City girls, which I don't know if that's too young for everybody.
I don't know what
but Charlotte is like the one who like she marries into like Upper East Side, like, you know, she's very like traditional, like brown hair, no sex before, no holding hands before marriage, you know, like that kind of stuff. Anyway, so this girl came in. I don't know how she ended up there. Sweetest, kindest soul. And some other girl started a rumor that she was sleeping with the boss because there was no other way that she was like getting these really good sections of and really good clients despite not having seniority. And now that I'm older and I look back at this, I'm like, they were just jealous because she was so nice and she was unbothered and she came in and like everybody loved her because she wasn't a catty bitch.
What is going on?
I know. It honestly feels like when I talk about it, it feels like another world. And the cooks were awful. The cooks would get so angry.
They're nice.
No, the cooks were awful.
Here.
I remember one time I came into the kitchen to tell the cook about like something, and he took the plate of food that I had and he broke it on the floor. And he was tiny, by the way. Like, plus I was in heels. Oh, one funny story.
Oh
okay,
God,
so the I'm like remembering. So our big boss, like he would never there because he was always in his office. Like the big boss, the owner, he had a rule. All the girls had to be in heels. It didn't matter how tall you were. So if I'm wearing a shortish dress for the dinner service and I'm wearing heels, it's kind of awkward when I come up to the table and there's a couple and like, you know, if they just look up, it's a little awkward.
Okay.
So what I would do is I would wear just sandals. But every time he would come in, because he didn't have his glasses on, so what I would do every time he would come in, I would just kind of stand on my tippy toes. And he could never tell that I wasn't wearing heels.
Because he was blind? He couldn't see without his glasses?
No, because like he would kind of look at me. Like you can tell when a woman is wearing heels, she walks a little differently.
Oh, yeah,
She walks a little differently. She has a little different stats. So I would like just, if the big boss would come downstairs while I was doing dinner service, not in heels, I would just kind of like walk on my tippy toes a little bit and slow down like how I walk. So he thought... thought I was wearing heels and he just never looked down to notice that I wasn't.
That's so big brain. That's so like life hack. Oh my God.
Yeah. There was a lot of that.
I feel mind broken by this whole conversation.
Trust me, there's so much more, but like I think it's just a little too jarring and it's like so but yeah, I only remained there a little bit. There was some girls that really took me under their wing because I was much younger. And some girls that it was like I said, I just saw the worst parts about women. And I think, we've talked about this privately, how I really want to make sure in my female friendships that there's no competition. I'm very big on that. And I think that place was one of the places that really shaped me to be like that, where it's like, we can compete on everything, but I do not want to compete with my fellow woman. There's just, it breaks me. It honestly pains me. And I've seen the worst.
Aww.
Fist fighting over a table.
Over a table. That's insane.
Yeah. Like girls would be in like the nice heels, nice dress, go in the back and just start like, what the hell is going on?
Holy cow.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Oh my God. That sounds, and you were there for what, 8 months you said?
8 months. Because then one of the hostesses that I became super close friends with, she left to another place and she was like, hey, this place is incredible. I think you need to work there. She was like, everything you liked about your other places, but we'll talk about that after.
Oh my God.
That's my next story.
Oh God.
Sorry, what like mind broke you the most, you think?
I think everything. I think the fact that a place like that exists.
Oh, so many. I think when you get into like night industry, it gets worse and worse because you're also drinking on the job. Then a lot of people will like, we had a manager that would flirt with all the waitresses and clients. And then once a month, his fiance would come into the restaurant and yell at him. And it happened every month while I worked there. And at some point I was like, okay, like,
I think this whole episode can be just about that job.
Probably. And I think probably, but
Yeah.
I swear at the end though, I have funny stories.
Okay.
I have like really funny stories that like tie everything up really beautifully.
Okay. Yeah.
What, you don't think cry in the fridge is a good story?
That one No, I think I actually know the most of your stories about this last one.
I talked about it the most.
Yeah.
It's also my most recent before streaming, so I think that's why.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Well, I don't. Now I feel like my stories are so lame in comparison.
Hey, there's no such thing as a lame story. I just want to get to know you. I want to be a little parasocial with you. Let me open up. Knock, knock, knock. Open up.
Okay.
I want to know. Share yourself with me. Sorry, I think my coffee kicked in.
I need more coffee. My stomach is starting to hurt really bad.
Do you want to go get a coffee?
No, I'd have to make it, so it's okay. I'll endure.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm a sensitive week this week, and I'm.
No, you're always my little baby. I'll give you a big hug.
My tummy hurts.
You little stubby. I'm gonna rub it and give you a kiss.
Yeah, I did when I was working at the office. I also worked as an English teacher for Japanese students online, and it was fun. It was really nice. There was basically like 4 people would join a classroom, and I would wake up at like 4 a.m. to start it, and like I would go like 4, 5, 6. I go about 3 hours, which would be like 3 lessons, and then I would go to class.
So you'd have like back to back to back, or
yeah, it would be back
how
to
would
back
the 3
to back.
hours work?
Yeah,
okay,
so each class was 45 minutes, and then it would be like or 15 minutes. They were 15 minutes, and then there was a 10-minute break getting ready for the next one. The school provided everything. They provided like the like PowerPoints, and they provided audio stuff, and so it was,
that's really good.
Yeah, it was actually pretty nice. And the only bad thing was well, I guess now it would be really bad because I was paid in yen. So
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. I would make. Oh, hold on, let's see. I think it was 1,400 yen
per lesson.
Yes.
So, oof.
I would be making $9.
Except back then, it was worth a lot more money. And I think it's different because they prepared everything for you.
Yeah.
I've heard of teachers coming in and just having to make a lesson plan from scratch. So if you're just kind of reading PowerPoints,
It was an easy thing to have, especially because it was like 3 hours in the morning. And I, like every morning, Monday through Friday, like it was really easy. And the students were usually really nice. It was like hard because they would like try to get you to like get them to talk and come out of their shell a little bit. And like, I mean, that's me trying to get people to be like, how are you? What's up? You know, and like, but people really liked me. So I was like one of the best teachers in the school.
I mean, yeah, you have a talent. I don't know what to tell you. This was your like this was streaming before streaming for you.
And there was one student. Oh my God, there was one student, fucking Koji. I'm calling him out.
Whoa.
He would come in every time and I'd be like, hi Koji, how are you? And he'd be like, I'm watching Sword Art Online right now. And I'd be like, you're supposed to be you're paying for this lesson. And then another time, hi Koji, how are you? I'm watching Evangelion right now. I'm like, what? And he would not respond to stuff because, but he wasn't. These are adults. These are not children.
Yeah, so it's like he's paying to be there. So hey, you know, you just do your lesson.
Yeah, and there were some people that would come in. They were like so fluent, and I'm like, why are you here? Like, but it was mostly like either Japanese office workers or bored housewives, and so. It was really cute because sometimes like I'd get like a housewife and she's like, today I made a bento for my son. And I'm like,
oh. Did she show you pictures or no? Oh, I guess they didn't have your numbers and stuff.
Yeah,
and
they could see a video of me, but I couldn't see like them. But sometimes like one person would show up and like, you know, if it was Koji, it'd just be like a private lesson between me and Koji. And like,
oh, so you got paid regardless of how many students. You just did the PowerPoint.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, that's actually really, really cool.
And so like if it was just one person, like I would just teach them. And it was mostly like, you know, we didn't even have to follow. They weren't even so strict that it like we had to follow the PowerPoint. Like they would be like, oh, you know, like maybe go over it a little bit. But if the person just wants to talk, then just talk with them, you know, like don't worry about it. But Koji, it's so funny because I bring him up because one time we had a private lesson and I was just like, you know, I'm into anime too. Like, let's talk anime. And then he was just like, what else are you into? And I was like, oh, I'm into idols. Like, so he was just like, oh, I never really got into idols. Do you have any suggestions? And I was like, oh, I like this group. And it was AKB48. And he was just like, oh, okay, thanks. I like, obviously he's heard of them. He was like, you know what? I'm going to go to one of their shows. And I think I ruined Koji's life because then every time he would come back, he would be like, okay, so this idol, blah, 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 blah. I was just like, oh no, I think Koji's in deep. And then like,
Koji.
Yeah, there was a few students that you know, we kind of became like not friends, but like I was like, here's my Twitter, and they would follow me, and I'd follow them. And like Koji, then he started to get into like the really underground idols, and then like,
you ruined this man's life.
And then I was like, oh my God, wait, oh no, he's like deeper in than I am, and I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I don't know, I don't have any of them added anymore. I hope I hope Koji's doing okay.
I wonder if Koji would find this podcast and be like, I was Koji.
I don't know. Oh my gosh.
I was Koji.
I'm Koji. I mean, it's possible he's into VTubers because he was into anime.
Oh my God.
I've tried like finding the school again, but I think it's shut down now, which makes me sad because I was just like, I wonder if I could like just do it kind of on the side.
That genuinely sounded like such a good, and again, because they prepared everything for you. And did you have to speak in English, right?
Yeah, only in English.
Okay.
And the only bad thing,
which is great English practice for them. I get it.
We're also just a very Japanese company. Like, so, like in the mornings, it's 4 a.m. I'm waking up. I'm like so tired. You know, I had just worked the day or studied the night before, or did whatever. And like, you know, they wanted our cameras on. So I'm like, okay, I have to put on all my makeup and everything and look good at 4 in the morning. And if I yawned, I would get in trouble. They would be like, don't yawn. I would pause.
Yeah, it's rude. It's unprofessional.
Yeah, I would like, there was a way to like pause your screen. I would pause it and yawn, and like someone would be like, hey, why is your screen paused? You're like, are you not paying attention? I was just like, oh my God. And so they were kind of micromanaging in that way. And then one time my sister, she got into a really bad accident. She fell off a mountain and broke her back.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And so
that's a really bad fall.
Yeah. And so I was like, I can't work tonight because there were night classes and there were morning classes. So the night classes would be they would be morning for them. Or wait, no. Yeah. Wait.
Or maybe they had morning classes and night classes, but like, you know, if it's morning for them, it's night for you, vice versa.
Exactly. And I was just like, it was that night and I was like, I messaged them and I was like, I'm so sorry I can't have my classes today because I have to go to the hospital because my sister just fell off a mountain. And they were like, are you sure you can't do your classes? And I was like,
yeah, that doesn't fly in Japan.
No.
Like it's
stuff like that.
You gotta work, baby.
So I was just like, I don't know. I mean, my sister just fell off a mountain. They were like, do you think you'll be able to do your morning classes then? And I was like, because it was, I'm guessing, it is my night classes. So nighttime for me and then my morning classes. And I was like, I don't know because I had to drive really far. Like for it, like she was hours and hours away.
It's scary. Like your sister. Yeah, this is so.
And so I was like, I don't know if I'll be back for my morning classes. And they were like, wow, this is just really inconvenient for us. Like this is, you know. And
it's so inconvenient that your sister fell and broke her back.
Yeah.
I'm so. Ugh.
Companies that do that kind of stuff, I'm just so like. What do you want me to do? Okay, I'll just never talk to my family ever again. You know, like.
I mean, if it made you work more, they'd be okay with that, right?
Obviously, I'm so distraught about my sister's broken back. I mean, she was fine.
Well, I mean, was it recovering for a while? Was it her back?
Oh no, it happened that night.
Yeah, but I mean, like, did she take a long time to recover her back? How did it?
Yeah, it took her a long time. I mean, she climbs again now. She's crazy.
Oh, okay, that is. I would have taken it as a sign of like, okay, God, I get it. You hate this hobby.
My sister's
listen, God.
My sister's an absolute normie. She like does all that stuff. Like
I thought you were gonna say absolutely crazy, and I was preparing with like, oh yeah, I run in the family.
I do it. What are you trying to say now?
I was preparing. I had a bullet in the chamber.
No, I think she's a bit of an adrenaline junkie. And so she would like she would like do the climbing and she like, what?
I think you too sometimes a little bit.
You think?
You think? Tell me again. I think so.
In what way? What do you think? Why?
I think streaming in general is like
I love
very.
the thrill.
But I do think streaming in general is like a little bit of a thrill for it and things like that. Yeah.
Maybe. I think I'm more of a masochist for streaming.
Really?
Yeah.
It hurts?
It hurts good.
Tell me where it hurts. Tell me how it hurts. How can I hurt more? How can I make it hurt more?
But yeah, after those jobs, so the weirdo office where I listen, the data entry office, and then English teaching, I went to another office. After that, I only worked at offices.
You went to another office after the Japanese teaching job?
Yes. And also, I worked the first office and the English teaching at the same time.
Yeah, because the other one is just you kind of get like 3 hours here and there. It's probably not every day.
Yeah. And then I did the second office, and that one I was more of like an assistant, and so I kind of like moved up a little bit from
nice. Let's go. Hey, she's moving up.
Yeah.
Were you still able to listen to as many novels? No. What does being an assistant entail?
I couldn't listen to any novels. My novel life ended. It was so sad. It was like a really small
That would be a deal breaker, genuinely.
Really? You think so?
Yeah, I think so. It was a small office.
Yeah, it was like one of those like everyone's family like at this office like we're all, like, and I'm just kind of like, I don't like that because they pressure you into doing like a bunch of stuff.
Absolutely.
And I'm like,
absolutely.
Like at one point I was, some people know this, but at one point, like this is how close they were. Like my boss was just like, oh my gosh, my back hurts so much. I wish someone would just walk on it. And one of the ladies was just like, hey, Mint, you're small enough. Good, get on his back and just walk on his back. And I was like,
okay. I come from a family that does that kind of thing, but that is like family. I do not imagine doing. I think if a stranger asked me to walk on his back, I'd do it. But I am like silly like that. I do it for the story.
Stranger is signing your paychecks. Of course you'd do it, right? Like, so I was just it only happened once. It only,
especially for you. Like I do it, but you're like, I can imagine how awkward it must have been for you.
God,
like I can imagine how.
Weird. It was so weird. And that sad thing is my boss was like the least of the weird people in that office. So,
really?
Yeah.
How are people more weird than that?
I don't know. All the ladies were just very weird. Like very like, I don't know. It's just, I don't. They all like were very gossipy kind of ladies, but like
any office ever, right?
Oh, of course. But like, so if I told them something, they would be like, "Oh, so this, and then this, and you're thinking this, and you're gonna do this." And I was like, "Whoa! I just said that I was thinking of, I don't know if I wanted,
yeah. I
wanted barbecue today or not. Like, I don't know." Like,
yeah. And they already like have a whole story, and they're like, they go down every path, and you're like,
yes.
I'm just thinking.
Yeah, it was.
I can relate.
Everyone there was really nice. Like, it wasn't bad by any means. Like, they still expect me to come back and say hello to them sometimes.
Really?
I have not done that once.
Did you like your experience of working there?
I didn't hate it. I think is probably stronger because it was
a strong word.
Yeah, because it was really easy. Like, I feel like every office job that I've had has been pretty easy. And so it's hard for me to say like, oh, it was a terrible experience. Even if like, it was, I mean, there were some days that were like frustrating, obviously. I think that comes with a job. But like, I mean, if I'm able to just sit at a computer and then there was like, if I got my job done, I was just on Twitter. I was like, I was just doing nothing. And
is there any of your jobs that you mentioned that you would like go back to say hi to, or no, none of the ones you mentioned?
Probably only that one. If I had to, if someone was just like
gun to your head, you have to pick one.
Yeah,
you picking this one, but not like lovingly.
The job I had after that, which would be my last one before streaming, they would sometimes email me and be like, "Hey, do you want your job back?" Like yeah, like even recently.
Ooh.
So.
Sorry, she's a podcaster now. She's busy. Sorry, keep your
get motivated.
Grubby claws.
You can do it. If you are not putting in the effort, then you will expect no results.
Never amount to anything.
Yeah, I'm a podcaster, but it's I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, I worked there for many years, like a lot of years, because it was just very easy, and they worked around once I graduated school, they were like, okay, we'll hire you full time. Like, it was good.
I didn't know you had a degree.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
I'm a surgeon.
Appalled.
I'm a doctor.
I'm appalled. They let you, they just let anybody graduate nowadays, huh?
Oh yeah, obviously. I graduated at the top of my class.
I think the reason that I ask which jobs you'd come back to is when you mentioned like, oh, you've talked about your latest job the most. And that's number one, because it's the closest job to streaming. So it's obviously the job that I have. It's also one of my longer ones. So that's another. Well, they were all pretty long, but for like the one that I did, the breakfast one, I was much younger. So I had like a really vibrant, like social life, friend circle, and you're doing a lot more. And also when you're really young and your coworkers are 45 or 50, you're not really like vibing with them the same way,
No.
But for me, I have gone back to the first job a few times because it was not far from me. So I would go visit. But the last job, I would be coming back for years.
Oh, really?
I would be coming back for years because my friends still work there. A lot of other people work there. The food was great. I'd always be stopping by. So my last job.
Well, I guess it's easier. You have a reason to stop by because it's a restaurant, right? Like for me, I'm not. What am I going to stop by an office and do what? Like,
as a restaurant, it's like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
But my last restaurant job, I have a few stories. I'll try to keep it kind of concise because we're already doing quite on the time. But basically, this last restaurant, it was so think of like an expensive department store. Think of like a Saks Fifth Avenue or I don't know what else there is in the United States, Harrods in Europe. They had a restaurant that mostly was open while the store was open. And it served, like it was kind of lunch, but a little bougeified. Let me explain.
Okay.
People would come in. The sandwiches back then were like $25 each because they were on fancy French bread.
Holy cow.
So you show up, you get 2 sandwiches, $50 already. 1 large sparkling bottle of water. Everybody got the large sparkling bottle of water. It was boss. Everybody was doing that. $12. 2 glasses of wine, another $25. Dessert, coffee, whatever. Suddenly, bill's $150.
Wow.
Everyone's there for a business lunch. They put their business card, give you 20%, bim, bam, bam, they're out.
Dang.
You know? One of the best jobs I've had, genuinely. Like I would have stayed there even forever. But so very quickly, it's just that kind of a place.
Yeah.
All the waiters were men. But I was the first like female waitress that they had. And I was dressed like, I was coming from wearing heels at a club to like hair in a bun, like men's uniform, long apron, all that kind of stuff, Yeah, it was good stuff. And again, I do have to, no heels.
Comfy.
Really big shout out to my hostess from the previous place because she ended up getting me the job. She was an angel. She got me the job. She got me the gig. God bless her. Like I went to interview. But a lot of my stories here were just kind of, I have a really big one that I've told on my stream before.
Yeah.
And it's really, okay, I guess the story is kind of twofold. Number one, I hate to admit it, listen to your parents sometimes. Sometimes when your parents say that they don't like a friend, it's not because your parents are jealous. It's because your parents can like.
Story. Oh my God.
Yeah. So I had a best friend at the time. She was a few years older than me, than my flesh woman. And we'll call her Kay.
Kay.
And Kay, basically, once my hostess friend had left, we needed a hostess. And this job as a hostess is easy. You get a beautiful, from the company, you get a beautiful Donna Karan dress.
What is that?
Every 6 months. It's like a brand that you just wear to work. It's a wrap dress. It's gorgeous. And then you just wear nice little flip-flop. Well, not flip-flops, like nice shoes, the beautiful dress. You seat people. You take their name reservation. Sometimes when the restaurant is really busy, you'll help clear the tables a little bit or wash them a little bit. But, we had bus boys as well. Like you weren't a bus boy, but you still had to and such an easy job. You had dental, medical, which is crazy for a restaurant. You got discounts at the store.
What?
You had amazing working hours. We tipped you out, like amazing job.
Wow.
So anyway, even before I got this friend the job, I was still crying in the fridge. Even before I got this friend the job, my flesh mother sat me down and she was like, hey, I really don't think you should recommend your friend for the job. And I said, why? Like she's a hard worker. And my flesh mother again was just like, she does not like you.
Oh.
And I remember being like, what do you mean she doesn't like me? She's my best friend. Like, what do you mean she doesn't like me? So anyway, I got her the job. Everything's fine. And then what happened was, so this was my closest friend. So after the job, we're together. I tell her everything. And I have like a few stories mixed in. So basically, there was a bartender that wanted the waitressing position because she would make more money. And she didn't have any waitressing experience because she had moved on from being a busgirl to a bartender. So I got hired. And her and I, just so we're clear, this girl was like very put together, prim and proper, everything. And I am chaos. I just walk in, everything breaks, but somehow I get stuff done. And I got hired. And she basically did not like me from day one. And she was very honest about it. She's like, I don't think you should have had this job. You don't know how to do anything. What? I should have had the job. She was very open about it. So sometimes on Friday mornings, I would have to open with her. When I tell you that I would be done with my opening. She would be done with her opening. And we would sit on opposite sides of the bars and fold napkins because we had to fold napkins and cutlery. And not a single peep would be said between the two of us.
Ooh.
Because she did not like me and I was intimidated. And like, she was just, anytime she could have a jab at me, she did, which ended up, anyway.
Dang.
So, yeah. So then at one point, we devised a strategy, her and I. We both didn't like each other. We both didn't want to spend time together. Friday mornings at that place were empty because a lot of the rich housewives, it was a mutual
hate. Can we also devise a plan for us?
Please. Well, that's what we're doing, right? So on Friday mornings, the store would be empty because all the rich housewives would not be awake early enough to go shopping. So basically our plan was, if any customer comes in, if it's a coffee or whatever, I'll do it. If I'm at or if it's just a table, she'll serve it. If the boss comes up, we just cover for the other person. Oh, where is, Matara? Oh yeah, she just went to she went to her locker to put her phone away. Oh yeah, like she went to go call her mom. If it gets busy, we text the other girl, come back immediately. Like we did not like each other, but we both wanted to be away from each other. We would take turns.
Interesting that you were like covering and caring for each other, but not liking each other.
I'm telling you, I think in my life, my friends have hurt me more than my like quote unquote enemies. Because with enemies, you know where you stand.
Yeah, well, I mean,
but with friends, like you don't.
That's so strange that this she was just like, look, you got this job, you got it. Like you shouldn't have gotten it, but you're here. Like she didn't even try to sabotage you to like not have the job.
And you know the worst part? She sucked as a waitress. Yeah, of course she didn't get the job. Girl is slow as hell, doesn't know any wines, doesn't know any pairing, doesn't do her read. Like, she'd get the menu and be like, she'd go to me and be like, Matara, can we cook the filet mignon medium rare? Yes, girl, we can. What kind of question is that? Like, she didn't know, like, so, anyway. Like, that was on her stuff, anyway, so then what we would do, basically when this would happen, right? Let's say the restaurant got really busy. I would text her, be like, come back. Or if the boss started being like, hey, I came back before she wasn't here. We didn't sleep. Be like, come back. So because of this, between let's say between like 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., I got an hour, she got an hour. Because, the friends and I would go out on Thursday nights. Friday morning, I'm tired, maybe a little hungover. So I would go into these big bathrooms that we have. They were private bathrooms, so you had like one person in the bathroom.
Oh yeah, I know
and they had like chairs. They had you know the story. And I would put my phone alarm. Yeah, just for the. I would put my phone alarm on, and I would put my head to the wall and nap for 30, 45 minutes, whatever. Hell yeah. I mean, hey,
it's not that ideal place to nap, but a place to nap is a place to nap.
Where people would find me otherwise.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I can't publicly nap somewhere. The clients would report me or like people would find me.
So how long are you setting your alarm for?
30 to 45 minutes.
Okay, 30 to 45 minutes. Okay.
And I have my phone on loud, so if she calls, so obviously I tell my best friend this. I'm like, oh my God, girl, haha.
And then I go on situation.
Yeah. So then at one point I like got into an argument with one of the waiters because one of the waiters, him and I, sometimes we would like get into arguments. So there was 4 waiters, 3 guys and me. My gay bestie who ended up being my best friend for so many years to come. 1 guy and then this guy who's French. And this
French?
guy and I he's French from France. That's when we were arguing.
Oh no.
And him and I just would always like nitpick at each other. But he would pick fights with a lot of the girls. So that's just like a him issue. But he would I don't know what it was about him. He would pick fights with the girls all the time. So at one point, him and I were arguing about something. And in front of everybody, he just goes yeah, why don't you go sleep in the bath? He's like, you know what? I'm done having this conversation. Go sleep in the bathroom like you always do. Which is such a strange thing to say. How does he know?
Yeah.
And then, instantly I'm like, oh, what happened? And I was like, okay, does the bartender know? Because she could tell him, but she doesn't know. She just knows that I take an hour break. I have never told her. I would never give my enemy this ammunition against me that I sleep in the bathroom for an hour.
Yeah.
But that kind of started happening, and I was like, this is really weird. How does he know? Obviously, I denied. I was like, you're insane. I was like, go back and basically I was like, go back, like, and do whatever you do at home. Like, I think he was like trying to be a DJ. I'm like, go back home, like drink your beers and do your DJing. Like, whatever. Listen, I was younger and we were
nice.
I was trying to clap back and it was yeah.
He told you to sleep in the bathroom and you're like, yeah, well, maybe you should go the DJ or something, bozo.
It was really, because you have to understand, I was floored. Like, he knew my secret. He knew and when that happened, I was like, I probably accidentally told the bartender that doesn't like me. I probably one day accidentally was like, girl, gonna go take a nap. But I didn't. So this happened and it's weird. So stuff goes on. And like at one point I noticed, because we had a lot of workers from the big like shopping mall that would come to eat, and they had these little pre-prepared meals that they could get. It was really smart of the boss to do this, where like they can get like a soup combo with a coffee or things like that, and they would kind of get in and out very quickly and eat. And some of them that like I would talk to all the time started treating me a little bit weird. It's one of those things where it's not just intuition. I'm sure people can relate. If people suddenly turn on you and start treating you different, you can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell there's something. They will deny it, but you can tell. So anyway, at one point, I had a really good relationship with my really good waiter. We'll call him B. Okay.
B.
The waiter that like ended up being my really close friend. And even now we're friends. He just moved really far.
Okay.
So B at one point was like, hey girl, let's go get lobster rolls at the place we always go. Cause sometimes after work, we'd like get lobster rolls. And we sat down and he was like, hey girl, we gotta talk. I was like, what's up? And he goes, your friend Kay is not your friend.
Oh my God.
And I was like, what is going on? And okay, this is how beautifully life worked out. He was roommates and really close friends with the barmaid, and they were roommates. But he was already kind of like feeling off about their friendship, and she was so mean to me at work that once she moved out, he was like, I'm done being her friend. Like, and he even told me, he's like, I just, like we've been at work, we're just coworkers, but then like seeing how she treats you and you're always smiling through it, like you don't even care. And then seeing how your other friend treats you, he was like, I don't know. He was like, something in me was like, I need to tell her.
Good,
so he sat me down and he was like, your best friend, quote unquote, when you were, because I went on vacation, I think to Vancouver. He was like, when you were in Vancouver, she told us, and he told me everything. He was like, she told us that when you called in sick, that you did this, that when you did that you did this. She told us like, and he was saying like, I cannot even, again, a lot of this stuff was so personal and private that I tell now you understand why I'm so private with my stuff. Now, like, I don't want anybody in my business now, because I basically had like my quote unquote best friend, like tell my business to like random employees at this giant store. Yeah. And he even said it. He's like, it started off with like, she was kind of making fun of you for sleeping in the bathroom or this and that. But then it turned into like, she basically, it was so crazy because basically I had taken a few days off, and he was like, she basically told us that like on the anniversary of your dad's death, when you asked for days off, that you were just like drunk the whole day. And like, that's so
personal.
Awkward and personal and none of anybody's business. What I do to mourn, this was my best friend. So anyway, the craziest part about the story?
Oh God, what?
Years later, I started streaming. I stopped working there, but my close friend B still worked there for many, many years to come until he moved to Vancouver. This girl would come up to him, because back then I had Instagram. She'd be like, I'm so proud of Matara. She is killing it. I always knew she had it in you. She's such a little go-getter. No. And he would look at her and be like, you're crazy. Like you, and he would tell this to me. And I remember at the time, like she would look at my stories and nowadays, and I don't know if she's watching this podcast, but if you are, Kate, you know who you are, girl. That's crazy talk. That's crazy stuff to me. I'm telling you, she would go to him and be like, wow, I'm so proud of my girl. Like, that's my girl over there. She's a fighter. What do you mean? That's my girl over there.
I was fighting you.
Oh my God, do you remember that Christina Aguilera song? Thanks for making me fighter.
Oh yeah.
Maybe run a little bit faster.
Stronger.
Yeah. But so it ended up kind of, and I'm not saying that everyone's life is going to work out. If people are mean to you, sometimes they're just like mean and there's no saving them. But in my life, this random like bartender being mean to me ended up in me having one of my closest friends to this day. We don't talk as much. We didn't have a fight. It's just, life took us different ways. But he was one of the best friends, the kindest, the sweetest, like showed me so much about friendship. And like for years, I would just go back and like see him again at work. And it's just crazy to me that I wonder sometimes in life, like if I could go into this person's head and be like, what did you think about this situation? Like, does she think back at it as like, wow, my really good friend, I'm so proud of her? Or does she look back at it like, yeah, I told everyone her business.
Maybe
that she trusted me with.
Yeah, and she knew that people were using it against you too.
She was embarrassing me on purpose. And the worst part too is like the waiter that she told stuff to, like she would flirt with him. That's why that kind of started happening. But like he would never help her out. She would every time, like he was supposed to give her 2% of his tips. Let's say he sold like 1,200. He'd basically try and like give her like a 20. He's supposed to give her 24, clearly. And to me, if I sold 1,200, I'd be like, girl, here's a 50. Like we killed it today. That's my girl. I'm making so much money. She's making so much money. And it's just crazy. That's why, now that you know this is why I'm so like, I don't want anybody in my business. If I grow with, like, when I find somebody that I can grow with, I grow with them, but I'm so picky.
No, I get it. Oh my gosh. And that's so messed up though, that she would just tell everybody, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I get wanting to be so.
But this is why now I'm so aware of like, I have this like thing now where I don't want to say I test people, but like I tell people something that's kind of embarrassing. That's kind of real. That is real. I don't lie, but but I'll tell them a real story. And then if they talk about it, I instantly will be like, okay, not my person. If they cannot hold this, not my person. But here's some fun stories about this job though.
Okay.
Amazing job, amazing money, amazing staff. I got to eat some of the best foods in the world.
Ooh, I know.
I got like a little bit
awesome, honestly.
I got like some of the craziest stuff. We had caviar on the menu. We had stuff. And sometimes you'd have a client, like they would order caviar and then just not even, I am not above this. They would not even touch it. I'd eat their caviar after. I have no shame.
Girl,
I have no shame.
I get
girl.
It.
Right?
I get it. I would too, probably.
We would try these crazy wines and desserts and everything. And the best part too, like you would have people come in to do corporate lunches and the bill would be like $1,000. And then because it's on their card, they would just, sometimes a lot of, God bless men, to impress, like men would like, they give you the 20%. And then like 5 other men from the table were like, did he tip you well? Are you sure? Here's another 20. What? You did a great job. I was like, yay! At this job,
gosh.
you everybody needs to let me know if this is real. At this job, I held heavy black American Express cards. And apparently those cards do not have a limit. It's not just a black American Express. It's like a heavy.
Oh, they're like the metal ones, right?
The metal, they do not have a limit.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe it either, but I'm curious.
Does anybody know? Can anyone confirm?
I remember thinking, like, seeing these corporate lunches being like, what do I have to do to like have a job like this? A little funny story though, just to like wrap it all up. Sometimes in restaurants, things are really stressful and you need a place to cry. It's so go. Everything's stressful. So I remember at one point, like we would go into the fridge to cry. So at one point, like I was in the fridge crying. And then I remember the dishwasher walked in to grab something and he was like, "Aw, you're doing great, kiddo." And then he just left. Like, and it's not even that deep. That's all I wanted. Like, it would be awkward if you just.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes I'd walk into the fridge, someone would be crying. I'm like, hey,
everybody's crying in the fridge. Is this just a?
Yeah, that's where you go because it's so cool. Like, it cools you down.
Yeah.
I'd be like, do you want a coffee? Do you want a tea? Anything? But yeah, the cooks at that job, some of the best guys ever.
I remember crying in the fridge.
This is how you get the cooks.
In.
Tell me about that in a second. Hold on. If ever you want to befriend the cooks at your job and you're allowed to like make drinks, go into your work, be like, all right, who wants a coffee? Who wants some tea? Can I get you guys some drinks? They will love you. And when you make a mistake, they will move mountains for you. Get the cooks on your side, girlies.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, it's so true.
How'd you get stuck in the fridge? Talk to me.
I don't remember if the door was broken or if I just couldn't figure out how to get out, but I was just stuck in there. I was like crying. I was like, I'm stuck in the fridge. thought I was gonna die in there. Well, I'm already dead, but I thought
Die again.
I was gonna ectoplasm freeze in there. Like,
was it like after work, before work? What's the?
It was during work. It was during it.
Ooh. So you kind of knew people were gonna eventually look for you.
Yeah, but
and the fridge is a place people do look in, right?
I guess so. I don't know.
But I get it. What if they didn't?
Negligent job, like.
What if they didn't?
Exactly, and I'm stuck in the fridge.
Hey Matt,
scary.
how bad were your doomer thoughts beyond
Well,
this?
it's kind of like, if you get stuck in an elevator, it's just like eventually people are going to know the elevator doesn't work and they're going to come and get me. But it's still also just like, how long am I going to be stuck in here?
Yeah.
Like,
what if they don't? What if the guy whose job is to tell the elevator doesn't work just doesn't come in today?
Yeah, what if they're just like, oh, we have all the stuff that we need. We don't need to go into the fridge today. Like,
how long were you stuck in there?
I don't remember. To me, it probably felt like an hour. Like, probably like 5 minutes.
Was it actually cold? Were you wearing?
I was wearing short sleeves and pants, so
Ooh.
It could have been colder, but
yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry.
it's okay. You cried in the fridge. I cry in the fridge. The fridge is a place for tears.
Please let us know if you work at a place with a kitchen or a place with a fridge. If crying in the fridge is like a known experience for all of you. I just feel like it's the restaurant rite of passage. You cry in the fridge. It's so normal.
It's also like,
and if you see somebody else cry in the fridge, you give them a nod and you walk away.
Yeah. Well,
mind your business.
It's like also the only place that's like secluded enough, I feel like, you can't go to the bathroom because also customers use the bathroom. So it's just like, okay, where's a place that I can just actually put a wall between us? And it just happens to be the fridge,
And also all the food usually in it helps insulate the cries. So you can go a little bit like, It's amazing. Oh my gosh, it's great.
We could record our podcast in there. We could just the insulation is great. The fridge.
My old restaurant, like it moved and it got renamed. It's still like sort of the same brand and stuff, but I've been meaning to revisit to see if anybody still works there that I know. You want me to ask? No, I don't think we'll ever be allowed in that fridge. It's also going to be a different fridge because it moved.
Did you say you want to ask? I want to ask if you want to go record in the fridge. What would we do? Hi guys, it's cold. We're in the fridge. We're recording today. Isn't that such a funny bit?
You're right. Okay. I'm sorry. I got a little excited for nothing. Yeah, you're right. It's like, plus also they're going to be like, okay, so you girls are in the fridge. Like, what's going on? You're right. Any last words and prayers? Because we are over 2 hours.
We are way over. Oh my gosh, I still have another job.
So fun. You can say it quickly if you want.
It was a good job. It was really far.
Good job. Job good. Good. Fun had. Money get.
This is the one that asks if I still want my job. It was just really far. Okay. I drove like an hour to and from, like an hour there, an hour back. And so it was like 2 hours of driving every day. And I left because of that, but also because a guy that got fired, they were like, he's acting kind of weird. And then they like fired him because they saw that he was like going through people's phones. And then like he would ask, he would be like, hey, can I use your phone? Mine is like I left mine somewhere or it's dead or whatever. And I need to text someone. And he would like go.
Oh my God, was he trying to get like, what is it called? Tea on people? Was he collecting like your?
No, I think he was just a freak because so they checked his office afterwards because they were like, this guy was really weird. He was like weird, and they noticed something, a smell in his office, and they were like, we don't know where it's coming from, whatever. Then they were like, okay, they checked the ceilings. They noticed something weird about the ceilings. They found a bunch of porn magazines in there, and stuff to make a bomb.
Work? Okay, not where I thought this was going.
And so I don't know where that guy is now, what they did with him afterwards, but that wasn't why I left.
They stuck him in the ceiling. What they did with him afterwards.
I don't know. Maybe they sent someone out to take care of the guy. He knew too many secrets. I have no idea. But
what they did with him afterwards.
That's what happened at my last job, and then I became a streamer.
Oh my God.
Thanks for listening, everybody. What are your craziest... I did want to ask you like a question, but I think we're just way over time. But
please.
No, I'll ask the audience instead. If you don't have a crazy job story, maybe what was a crazy interview that you had?
Maybe you were the crazy job story.
Hell yeah. No, what was like a weird interview, or like, you know, maybe you went to a job and what was like some weird vibes that you got from the job? Like, you know, like I want to know if I want to hear people's stories about that, because sometimes you can like go to a job interview. I've been to so many job interviews where I'm like, what is wrong with this place? Like,
yeah. Like this is
weird. Yeah, like
this is tingling my spidey senses.
Yeah, like one time I went to a place and it was for a photography job, and the guy was like, the guy was very adamant about like getting me into like
getting your shirt off.
Mm-hmm. No, wait, what?
Oh, is that not what you were insinuating? I'm so sorry. Did I link you this TikTok the other day where it's like when your friend finishes your sentences and the person is so off? No. I think I said that to you the other day.
No, you didn't, but that is exactly
I'm so sorry. Please go on.
No, he had a collection of something. Oh gosh, now I can't remember. Oh no. But it was like a collection of like rocks or something, and he was very adamant about like getting me in on this rock collection thing. And I was,
oh god,
I don't know.
Hey girl, you want to see my rocks? You want to see my rock collection?
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't know where that voice was.
Anyway,
hey girl, you want to see my rocks?
I didn't get the job, but I felt a little offended.
Yeah, because you didn't see his rocks.
Well, I thought I was like playing it up pretty well. I was like, oh my gosh, I love your rocks. But
I love rocks.
Some of them were pretty cool, I'll admit.
I love eating rocks. Rocks are so tasty.
But I was just like, why didn't I get this job? I complimented your rock collection.
I looked at your
Please respond. Anyway, thanks guys. Please tell us any of your crazy job stories.
Please like this podcast. We accidentally recorded for 2.5 hours instead of recording a Patreon and a regular episode.
Yeah, we were gonna do both. We were gonna knock both out. Okay, I guess we have to figure out another time to do the Patreon.
But this was really funny. This really cracked me up. I love you so much.
Your stories are whack, man.
We can sit. You too. You too. I love hearing your stories. We can sit down and have so many more stories. I promise you.
So many stories.
But yeah, we want to hear your awkward interview stories.
Yes.
Absolutely. Maybe we can think of some of those for Patreon for us.
Oh yeah, that can be a Patreon. Okay.
Awkward interview stories, weird job stuff, maybe even frenemy stuff. How is that for you guys? Is it just like kind of a feminine thing? Because from what I know growing up, like usually if men disagreed, they just punch each other in the face and, you know, then they're friends again.
It's so
but for
true.
women,
it's so true.
They
they fight in the street and then they're like,
yeah.
It's like you see in the movies, they're like laying on the ground, they're all bloodied and beaten up and they're like, all right. Okay.
I've genuinely been harmed by friends way more than I ever been harmed by people who like, you know, I use the word enemies, but like we're actively against me. I've genuinely been more harmed by friends than, so yeah.
Yeah.
Don't harm me, please.
Don't.
I'm sensitive.
I'm sensitive. Please.
I'm sensitive.
Please don't.
Please, man. Thank you to our patrons.
Thank you, patrons.
For
Thank
your
you, patrons.
patronage.
Thank you.
You are a modern day patron of the arts.
There's me.
You know how in
There's
the
me.
past they used
There's
to
me.
sponsor making the statues in Venice and Rome and the Vatican and the paintings. This is the same thing. You are sponsoring modern art as we speak. Find your name in the in the
List of patrons?
in the list of names.
I think it's over, probably.
You are sponsoring modern day art.
You are.
I wish you could see me. I'm actually doing the poses. I'm like doing Power Rangers poses.
Oh my gosh. Maybe one day we could do a episode in 3D.
I hope so. We will.
We will one day, maybe, hopefully.
One day, hopefully. I'm ravenous for it. Yeah, thank you so much. We love you guys. And word of the day.
Oh, word of the day. Bathroom. Or
Ooh.
no, not bathroom. Wait.
Don't say fridge.
I was gonna say fridge.
That's fine. I know. Oh my God. I know you so
Oh
well.
my
We're like
God.
soulmates. Fine. Can you please use fridge in a sentence? That is to let us know that you got until the end of this.
Yep.
It's going to be more than 2 hours. Even with all the cuts, it's probably going to be 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Sorry, this is a really
Sorry,
long
everybody. We love you and we love to yap and we love to
Yep.
yap together at you.
Yep. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you next week. Hags.
See you next week. Hags. Have a great summer.
Hags.
Hags.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.